Are we good? Should we begin?
Yeah, go for it.
We do have bottles of baby oil on the table.
Again? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna fart! Hold it. I can't hold it. So long. I can't hold it. Just a little longer. I'm really that constipated for you.
I see you've been studying.
Yay!
Hello, everyone.
Twig.
Welcome to my talk on Tamers12345. Before I begin, I guess I would just like to say thanks. I'm happy to be here at TUIG. Thank all
the United Internet Genius Conference.
Well done, best guy ever, my brother. Thank you for setting this all up and allowing me to make this presentation.
For a nominal fee.
Before I go any further, let me give my thanks again to Nate Bestman for organizing TUIG, as well as to the sponsor of this video, Boot.dev. Boot.dev is a platform for learning back-end web development, Python, Golang, SQL, JavaScript, and more, through a gamified interface that makes learning to program feel like you're playing a video game. Like they give you a quest, and then as a reward they give you a chest, and in the chest is a potion, and when you drink the potion, you get bonus experience. You take damage if you submit faulty code, but you can buy armor to protect yourself with jewels that you earn from completing quests. I spent an evening trying it out. Yeah, I kind of got caught in that loop of just got to do a few more quests just to fill out one last level bar. It gives you that dopamine hit you get from leveling up in an MMO or something. Only you get it from learning how to program. Years ago, I led a project building a game. It was a Discord-based, text-based MMO. I was really held back by not knowing back-end stuff, specifically SQL. I also did program another game myself. I can say from experience that learning Python was very helpful, and I wish I had done even more of it, to be honest. Boot.dev offers a 30-day, no-questions-asked refund policy, and they also offer free trial demos of all their courses you can try before you sign up. Go to Boot.dev and try out the courses for free, then use my code BENSAINT to get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Thank you, Boot.dev, for the sponsorship. And now, let's get back to talking about Tamers. I'm very happy to be here. I'm sure you're all happy to be here as well. This is going to be fun. All right. Yeah, so this is my talk about Tamers12345.
Is this being recorded?
All right, well, I mean, how many of you know anything about Tamers12345?
Some.
Two? Oh,
Actually, nothing.
Nothing at all? Nothing. Wow.
First hearing it.
All right. Okay. Well, that's exciting. Where is my sheet? Okay, here we go. All right. All right. So I guess first off, I'll give a little content warning about Tamers stuff. About what we're going to talk about in this talk, but especially about Tamers stuff in general. If you want to go watch the stuff, just know it is, it's pretty much the most offensive stuff you can imagine. Every form of socially unacceptable behavior is engaged in. People shitting their pants, shitting on each other. Every slur imaginable will be used liberally. There will be sexual assaults. There's things like that. What else do I have here? Domestic abuse, child abuse. So just it's all in the name of comedy, but if you can't laugh about that stuff, then this isn't the guy for you. I'm sorry to say. Okay. So Tamers12345. Here's what I've done. I've prepared a little handout for everybody because I only have one, but you can pass it around because this is a visual medium.
A handout. Yeah. For everybody.
So what this is? Yeah, this is I'll So this is like a chronological, just sort of a little mood board for every year that Tamers12345 was posting, and you can kind of see. You can get an idea. Here we are in the early days of 2013, and all the way year by year, up to the modern day of 2025. So you can see a progression here, and I'll be talking about, as I'm talking about the things listed on this board, you can refer to that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like if I just explained it to you, you wouldn't understand. You have to see it.
It's truly a visual medium.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so Tamers is, I guess, an animator or a content creator. He makes cartoons of a very limited animation sort. His channel, he had a YouTube channel, which was just deleted about a month ago, as of this recording. Wow. Unceremoniously, completely deleted, wiped off of YouTube.
Free Tamers. Free Tamers.
Yeah.
Justice for Tamers.
Yeah, free Tamers.
I don't know Tamers, but he did nothing wrong.
The stated reason for the termination was a violation of adult content nudity policy, which, I mean, the stuff is, crass and the stuff is sexual in nature, but it's not like explicit pornography. There's not like explicit nudity or sex on screen. So it seems like it was either a mistake of the algorithm or maybe some sort of mass flagging campaign by people that didn't like him. We don't know. But he's posting on Newgrounds instead, and he's also posting on PonyTube because as of this year and the last year, Tamers12345 completely pivoted his content to be My Little Pony fan content. Basically a continuation of the finished fourth generation of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yeah. So that's what he was doing. But before that, Tech.
Does he have like his own original characters from the already established Tamers lore, just with ponies now, or is it just all ponies now?
Yeah, did he cut totally to new characters?
He doesn't.
Complete reboot.
I don't think he's posted anything of his old stuff. It's complete. It's complete. Wow. It's a complete new. It's yeah. Okay. Basically his old stuff was somewhat popular. Some people liked it. The pony stuff really took off. And so he made a complete pivot. Okay. Some people...
He's following the money.
He seems to be following the money. Some people wonder if maybe we'll make a return to the old days at some point. It seems unthinkable that we won't, because I haven't even said what his old stuff was. But the stuff he was posting about before, he had posted obsessively about for a decade plus. And everything that he did revolved around this stuff. And then he suddenly made a pivot, seemingly following the money, which I can't blame him for, honestly. But if you had looked,
Honestly, Sigma.
if you had looked at his channel before it was deleted, you would have seen a bunch of thumbnails with My Little Pony, or videos with My Little Pony thumbnails. And here's a sampling of the titles you would have seen. They would have been titled things like My Little Pony the Movie, Shattered Harmony, runtime 52 minutes and 2 seconds. My Little Pony the Movie, Shattered Harmony teaser trailer, 42 seconds. My Little Pony Shattered Harmony Epilogue HD creditless, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Twilight Sparkle and Friends get stuck in a porta potty, 32 minutes and 23 seconds, which is it's pretty indicative of what was going on over there. Basically, Tamers Pony videos are a mixture of very melodramatic anime drama, anime shonen battle, and this is all with the pony characters. This is Twilight Sparkle battling Trixie the Magician, battling Sunfire.
Episodic installments, so it kind of start and wrap up within the contained episode, or is there an ongoing? There is
an ongoing narrative, and I'm not going to talk about the pony stuff because it's still ongoing.
Yeah, that's happening right now.
Whereas the old stuff has mostly ended for the moment, so I'm going to give a complete overview of the old stuff.
Yeah.
So what the old stuff was. It was about Sonic Underground. He used to post a series called it was his continuation of the canceled cartoon Sonic Underground, which is not normal Sonic. Does anyone know what Sonic Underground is? Okay.
Triplets born.
The throne awaits. A seer warns of a deadly fate. Give up your children. Separate. Bide your time. Lie in wait. Sonic Underground. Sonic Underground. They made a vow, their mother will be found.
Sonic Underground.
Sonic Underground. Yeah. Okay, so Sonic the Hedgehog. So Sonic Underground was the third Sonic the Hedgehog animated television cartoon program, and it was basically a spin-off, or a complete reboot, a new vision of Sonic, which was, instead of being woodland critters in a forest, they lived in a sort of dark, futuristic fantasy alien planet cityscape on the planet of Mobius. It's not City Escape. They do not escape the city, as far as I know.
Here.
So, best guy.
Is it possible this is like a future where Robotnik won or something like that?
Well, yeah. Well, that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm guessing. I haven't seen this.
In Sonic Underground, Sonic the Hedgehog is the son, the heir to the throne of Mobius. He's the son of Queen Alina, who is the queen of Mobius, but also he has he's one of 3 triplets. He has a brother and a sister.
The Throne awaits.
Manic the Hedgehog, who is green, and Sonya the Hedgehog.
Sonic's brother and sister?
Wow.
Is it someone knocking? Oh, so he has a brother and a sister, Manic and Sonya. Okay. So basically a prophet called the Oracle of Delphius makes a prophecy that says, Queen Alina, you've just had your 3 children, but Robotnik is about to take over the world. He's going to conquer Mobius, and he's going to win. So what you have to do is run away and hide and separate your 3 kids and give them to 3 separate parents to raise and adopt. And basically she gives them to the 3 stratas of society. She gives Sonya to an aristocrat. She gives Sonic the Hedgehog to a middle class family, and she gives Manic to a poor family, but then instead of being adopted by the poor family, a thief comes and steals Manic's basket off the doorstep. So he gets raised by a crime lord, stealing on the mean streets with a thieves guild called the Rat Pack. Yeah, Tech.
Why would they write this?
I don't know. I don't know.
It seems really complicated.
It's aired on television.
Well, I don't know.
Your question was way more broad. It's why does this exist?
It was.
I got that part.
I can only speculate. It was 1999. It seems like what they were trying to do was they were sort of. It seems like when I explain this all, it sounds like they were trying to age it up and make it a dark, sort of messed up version of Sonic. It's kind of fantastical, maybe appeal to an older audience, but it's animated. It looks like a Disney cartoon. It's not animated like it's for an older audience at all.
Well, so this is this is 1999.
This is 1999.
Sonic Adventure is already out.
Well, I believe it's coming out, or it's 2000.
I don't know, something like that.
But
yeah,
I think it's CD at the time, right? I'm not super.
Maybe. Honestly, but okay,
But this is before his redesign of Adventure.
Yeah. This is before what Tamers knows as modern Sonic and everything else, Sonic Adventure and so on, with the green eyes and all that. Okay, so this was not a popular adaptation. Honestly, I kind of have to explain more about Sonic Underground for a lot to make sense. But I guess for now, I'll just say that this was not a popular version of Sonic. It lasted 1 season, 40 episodes, and then it was canceled, and it never came back. Nobody ever spoke of it again because it was weird. Oh, also they have they're also a band. They reunite with each other, and they have royal medallions that are heirlooms, that are magic medallions that they can transform them into musical instruments that are also magic weapons that shoot lasers and stuff. And they form a rock band called the Sonic Underground. And they use the power of music to battle against the tyranny of the Robotnik Empire. And every episode has a full musical number in it. It's also a musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It sounds awesome.
It sounds there's no way they can fuck up.
Now why?
Right.
Sometimes it's about the execution.
So it was canceled after 40 episodes, and no one ever spoke of it again. 40 episodes, yeah.
Wow.
Except for Tamers12345, who was the biggest fan of Sonic Underground in the world. Tamers12345 loves Sonic Underground. He doesn't hate the old Sonic. He thinks they were fine. They just weren't as good as Sonic Underground. But everything after Sonic Underground, he hates. Modern Sonic is evil. It's anathema to everything good in the world.
Must be destroyed.
Basically, the universe that Tamers12345 imagines we live in is one in which Sonic Underground lovers and modern Sonic lovers are a continual war with one another. The powers of light and the powers of light and darkness. Okay, right. So most of what's on here is Tamers' continuation of the canceled Sonic Underground, right? They only made 40 episodes, but Tamers set to work. I'm going to continue the series. I'm going to finish the series. I'm going to tell the story that Sega was too cowardly to tell. You're looking at the.
I don't want to
Yeah.
There's too many things to comment on.
Right.
Holy shit.
Okay, so
can I just say that there's Hatsune Miku in the game?
Hatsune Miku is in it, yeah.
Did you see the Inuyasha thing?
Yes.
there's a
Oh
Right. Okay. So this is a direct continuation of the unfinished story of Sonic Underground. So in Tamers episodes, Sonic and Manic and Sonia live with their mom, Queen Alina, in like a regular American suburb on Earth in America, with their creepy Uncle Chuck, and they go to high school. And yeah.
Just quick question. That is a very different premise from the other show. So like. You said it's a continuation, so do they like move?
Is that what happens at the end of Underground?
Well, there is no end of Underground. It was never finished. So
like the last episode of Underground. So a lot of cartoons are like this. Like the last episode of Underground, it's just another adventure of them trying to beat Robotnik, and they're still in the same world.
I haven't seen the whole show, and I haven't seen the last episode. But yeah, it's, like it has no resolution.
Well, so can you speak to my question about how did we come to this place then? If they were off in
I mean, you don't find that out until. Sonic Underground. Which one is it?
Can't find it.
I think there's too many. It was in 2019 until Battle with the Boys. You don't find that out until Sonic Underground: The Battle with the Boys. But just make no mistake, this is canon, and this is
okay.
It's interesting that he adopted the narrative of Sonic and his friends go to Earth, which is what modern Sonic actually does.
That's
true.
That's true.
Movies,
So you're saying that
even just like Sonic Adventure and modern Sonic,
they ripped off Tamers12345.
Right.
He had the right idea. Okay, so I have some notes about like the premise of the Tamers. Okay, so all the characters from the show, from the Sonic Underground, they just live in an American suburb. They go to high school. Okay, so another thing about Tamers. In Tamers episodes, it's focused on shipping, right? The shipping is like really important. Tamers, a lot of his mental energy is devoted specifically to the ships. Specifically, he likes Knuckles x Sonia or Nook Sonia. He likes Manic x Mindy. That's Mindic. But in particular, he likes. I didn't explain the whole show. He likes Sonic x Bartleby. Or Bardonic. And Bartleby is a character. He's like a tertiary. He's a secondary character in Sonic Underground. He's like a nobleman. He's like an effete sort of pompous nobleman who was actually engaged to Sonia before she decided to become a freedom fighter with the Sonic Underground because she was raised as a noblewoman. So it's Sonia's ex-fiance who is this kind of posh. His iconic line is rosebud tea, just one of the many pleasures of being a wealthy aristocrat.
Why is his line so long?
Which tells you, it pretty much tells you.
He just says it.
Well, no, he doesn't say it all the time, but he says it in one particular episode.
Right.
Okay, iconic line.
Were you going to ask a question, Tech?
This is a Sonic Underground original character, correct?
This is a Sonic Underground original character. There's no version of Bardonic in any other.
I don't remember playing as him in Sonic 3.
No, Bardonic is a Sonic original. So he's sort of a good guy. He's the Sonic and kids' ally, but he's not a very likable character. You're sort of meant to laugh at him. All right. But, I mean, all right. So, Bardonic is Tamers12345's focus. Ship, his main ship. But his conception of Bardonic in the Tamers episodes, all right, here's where we really get into it. So Bartleby as conceived by Tamers is not just like a rich aristocrat. Bartleby in the Tamers universe he's not just rich. He's not like a billionaire. He's not a trillionaire. He's like a quadrillionaire. He's like rich. He's so rich he owns like most of the planet. He owns everything ever. He owns 800,000 airports. He owns like half the countries on the planet. He owns like other planets also.
If there's something on the planet he doesn't own, it's evil in him. It will soon be his.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't really seem that. He's not that worried about like becoming richer. He's not. I mean, he's constantly buying more things, but he doesn't like care about them. He just does it to do it. So
rightfully is.
He's numb to his wealth.
He'll just casually say like, Sonic, I have to go. I have to go to Area 51 because they found aliens and I have to go negotiate. To buy alien real estate. So I can't. So I can't be here. So Mindy. I didn't say who Mindy is. Manic is shipped with Mindy. Mindy is also just like the daughter of an aristocrat. She has like one highlight episode. She's not that important of a character. She gets one musical number in one episode, and
but she's a major character in Tamers.
In Tamers, she's a major character.
Which one is she on the board?
She is she's the one with the big lips. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
okay, I gotta finish explaining about Bartleby. Bartleby is not just super rich, he's also like massively muscular. He's the sexiest man in the world. He's so sexy, and I really don't know how to say this. He's so sexy.
I'm lost for words.
He'll just like fart. He'll just like fart so hard that his clothes just explode off.
You could say he's too sexy for his clothes.
And it's okay.
It's not even like he flexes his muscles and his shirt pops.
Bartleby farts. Bartleby farts a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of what Bartleby does is farting and shitting and talking about and shitting. And Bartleby will not. Bartleby will not wipe his ass with toilet paper. Bartleby only wipes his ass with $50 million bills.
You say $50 million?
$50 million bills is his item of choice.
$50 million.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he keeps like a big wad of them in his. Okay, I'm skipping way ahead, but there's an episode where he gets, I think he's there at 7-Eleven, he gets trapped in the bathroom, and he can't wipe his ass with the toilet paper in there, and he's just, I'll just use the $50 million bills I keep in my pants, but he realized, oh no, I'm wearing my Speedo today. I left my pants at home. I don't have any $50 million bills. I'm stuck in the restroom. I can't leave.
He like drops his wall and like
it's
changes
to
the
show like
behavior
the punity of wealth. Like you can have
Yeah.
all the wealth in the world and yet still be
Right.
Well,
Right.
at least he's clean.
Well, he's not. He's not. So, but Bartleby shits himself all the time. Bartleby has poop on his butt. Bartleby has brown stains all over his pants constantly. Okay, a lot of the characters have poop all over them all the time. In the pony, My Little Pony stuff, also the characters just have poopy assholes all the time.
Yeah, it's a trend in the
Yeah, you
collage. It's a consistent imagery.
You could see it in there. Bartleby, despite or it's not because of. People don't think, he farts a lot, therefore he's sexy. He just simultaneously is the richest, sexiest, most muscular, powerful man in the world. Also, he just poops himself all the time and talks about it, and these two things are both true, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, not even an ironic point.
No.
It's more like just yes and.
Yes and. Okay. So I mentioned Mindy. Mindy in Sonic Underground is just the daughter of some aristocrat. In Tamers12345, her thing is that she's a slut. She's a bimbo slut with huge plastic surgery boobs. Cool. You can see it in there. There's the ones with she has the huge balloons like this big. That's Mindy. She's always coming off screen saying, okay, something that I couldn't capture in there about Tamers is that every character is voiced by a just a terrible text to speech program.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no attempt to disguise it or make it sound natural.
It between characters.
Well, there are a couple different ones, but yeah, a lot of the characters just have the same voice.
They share a voice actor effectively.
Yep. Sonic and Manic have the same one. Knuckles and Mark, that's Mindy's dad. In Sonic Underground, Mindy's dad is just called Mr. Latour. Her name is Mr. Latour. In Tamers12345, his name is Mark.
Yeah, so these are videos that they're is it kind of like in the form of comics, still. It's
very limited animation, so a lot of it will be a still image with the character on screen, and maybe there will be a little loop for their mouth moving.
Yeah.
As it goes on, there's more and more times when the character does move, and even towards the end, there's parts. And in the pony stuff, a lot of it is very focused on anime action scenes, and there will be a lot of times when the characters move a lot or do an anime. They do an anime thing or an attack or a kiss or something. There's a whole process of where more and more.
There's probably an artistic progression.
There is
narrative progression.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself over how much of this do I want to just explain up front versus how much do I want to just talk about as I go.
Distribute as
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, I guess I'll just get into... So, in 2007, Tamers' first known presence on the internet was a DeviantArt account, which has been deleted. We don't know exactly what was on there. But he, like, uses his DeviantArt drawings in other... like, he uses them in videos. So, like, we've probably seen most of what was on there. And, like, all of the stuff he was posting around the time is Bardonic art. And he just had like dozens and dozens of images exactly like that, mostly about Bardonic. Sometimes he would throw Mindy. Sometimes he would throw Mindic, an image. Usually it was Bardonic. Yeah,
would you
Mark.
classify this as his Bardonic period?
Well,
Bardonic age.
wait, is that a pun? I'm not getting it.
Just, like blue period for Picasso.
I would honestly.
I'm the first artist you've been like Picasso.
Honestly, his whole career up until he pivoted to pony was his Bardonic period.
Yeah.
It was pretty much his fixation of the fixation of his work.
It's the through line of the whole thing.
Of the whole thing, yeah. So he would make drawings, and also he would write like fan fiction, ship fics about the characters. And the thing about I went back and I haven't read all of them, but I've read some of them, and they're all really focused. And this is true in the art as well. They're all really focused on how mean and nasty Sonic and Bartleby are, but also that like their love is pure and beautiful, even though like it's clearly not.
They're mean to each other or to other people outside?
Not okay. Bartleby is Bartleby is a cruel lover. Let me talk about there's a change in this. I think Bartleby gets softer as the years go on. There is development. I'm strictly talking about the early days. Okay. In the early days on DeviantArt, Bartleby is a cruel. I mean, in the fics, they're explicit about it. He's a rapist. He just rapes Sonic the Hedgehog.
Like it's funny, like Quagmire, or like it's not funny.
I think the intent is I think the intent is to be comedic. Okay, I think like there's but Sonic will be there's okay. Let me tell you what happens in one particular fic that stuck with me. There's one where Sonic is going on a date with Bartleby in a hot air balloon. And Manic the Hedgehog runs up and is like, Sonic, we never hang out anymore. You only want to hang out with your sexy boyfriend Bartleby. Why don't we hang out the three of us together? And Sonic is like, fuck you, Manic. You make me sick. And he just punches Manic out and he starts kicking his unconscious body on the ground. And Bartleby runs up and gleefully joins in, and the two of them start kicking Manic on the ground. And then the police show up and they're like, stop killing that hedgehog. They're like, and Bartleby says, Sonic, we gotta make a getaway. So they grab Manic's body, jump into the hot air balloon, and fly away. And then over the air, Sonic grabs Manic's body and throws it out of the hot air balloon and says, I wonder what janitor will have to clean up that pile of shit.
That would be me. Brother Sonic.
And then Bartleby gets turned on by this and brutally rapes Sonic in the hot air balloon. And Sonic cries, but then he thinks, well, but if he's willing to rape me, that must mean he loves me, right?
Yes.
Our love is so beautiful, right?
Wow.
And like that's.
It's just like, thank God he doesn't throw me out of this.
Well, he would never throw Sonic out of the hot air balloon because he's so infatuated. He's so infatuated with him. Also, key detail. Going all the way back, Bartleby only ever calls Sonic my bitch. He's not even Sonic the Hedgehog. He's just my bitch. Going through the whole series, Sonic is when people encounter Sonic, random passersby on the street will be like, "Oh, you're Sonic the Hedgehog. You're the bitch of Bartleby Montclair of Dresden, the famous and most powerful man in the world, the savior of all mankind." Like that's what people know Sonic the Hedgehog for in this.
Wow.
Keep in mind, he is the savior of Mobius.
Right,
he is Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest thing alive. But like that doesn't matter compared to being Bartleby's personal bitch.
What have you done for me lately?
Right. Okay. So that's the early days of his Bardonic. Honestly, like in the actual in the cartoons, right? Because he eventually made a YouTube channel, and he started posting. It changes a little bit. It's not as cruel most of the time, although it is really cruel. Characters will just Chuck will just grope Alina, that's his sister. He'll just grope Alina's ass and she'll be like, stop, and he'll just beat her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing that happens.
And these characters are immortal, right? Because I think your Manic is is it the green Manic?
Manic's green.
the guy that got beat and thrown out of the hot air balloon, he's alive after that, right?
I mean,
or is there,
I think it's like
he's injured for a while.
I think it's
he's fine.
well that was kind of a self-contained ship. I think it's kind of like Kenny Rules, like from South Park. Like at the end of that story, like whatever, we'll just start over again.
He's able to kind of constantly emit this cruelty to the characters because they're not going to die effect. They're not going to like.
Right, he's just
come back.
He's just going to write another fic.
Yeah.
With back to the status quo, basically.
Similar to the Sonic Underground, presumably.
Characters do just like punch each other's teeth in, or like they'll get in a fight and then the winner will just grab the loser's head, shove it in their ass, and just like fart down their mouth, which I learned is called a beef stew. From
wow,
I learned.
We're gonna have to practice that later.
Yeah, when you pull that move in real life, as one does. Okay, so DeviantArt, drawings and shipfics. So in 2010, he makes a YouTube account and he starts posting. Most of what he's posting initially is AMVs, anime music videos, and it's all clips of Sonic Underground. The first video ever on his channel was an AMV called Knuckles X Sonya (My Will). It's just a pretty straightforward shipping AMV. The only thing weird about it is that it ends on a shot of Rock Lee from Naruto, and the camera pans out, and there's the text on the bottom of the screen that says, "This has been a Rock Lee," and that's it. And I think, and I think if it showed the whole image, it would say like, "This has been a Rock Lee production," but like it cuts off the image. You can't see the whole thing.
So it's clips or images of Knuckles and Sonya from
Sonic Underground.
Not from his. He's not making AMVs of his own art.
No. He would use his own art. Well, eventually he starts taking his written shipfics, and this is when he starts using the text to speech. He'll take like a story he wrote, and then he made a drawing of it, like something like Bartleby's Wine Baby is one image that comes up over and over again. It's the image of, I think it might be in there. It's like Sonic in a maid outfit running a glass of wine to Bartleby while Bartleby celebrates by the fireplace. So he'll take that fic and he'll make a video that's just the static image, and then he'll have text to speech just read the fic that he wrote. And that's when he started using text to speech.
Yeah. We have to start somewhere.
Right. So he would make AMVs. Sometimes he would just add text on screen that's like meant to be the character speaking. Like, I think like the third or fourth video he posted on his channel was I don't have the title here, but it was he did a Mindic shipfic, a Mindic AMV, and then he did a Bardonic AMV, and in the Bardonic AMV he has text annotations on the screen that have Sonic in the clip saying like, "Hey Bartleby, guess what? I'm your bitch. Ha 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 ha." Oh, he would make shit posts where like he would take footage of like people getting in fights, like CCTV footage of people getting in fights on a school bus, and add like annotations to it where like the fight is between people that love Sonic Underground and people that love modern Sonic. So basically these are like shit posts, right? A lot of these are shit posts. Some of the, like, it's really hard to say, like, people always ask like how much of it is genuine and how much of it is trolling.
That's my main question about this, yeah.
And like I really think it's a little column A and a little column B, because I do think that a lot of the intent with a fic like that, where like Manic gets beat up and thrown out of a hot air balloon, I like the focus is on, like, he doesn't genuinely think this is like romantic or appealing. Like I think he thinks this is funny. It's funny to depict it this way, but he is like, he's clearly really fixated on it because he posted like so much content about it, even when he had basically no audience. I gotta assume, I'm just assuming here, but like, if this is the kind of stuff you're posting, I feel like the only engagement you're gonna get, if you're not like a known entity online, is gonna be other Sonic fans that see it and are probably offended by it. And, there's that one DeviantArt comment, there's a screenshot of the DeviantArt comment he left on another artist that had drawn like a page of manga, and it's like a pretty well-drawn page of manga, and he posts in response to this, "I can see you rushed through this. It's not something you should do. Maybe you should try a little harder if you're going to post at all. Otherwise, why even bother? Take a look at the stuff on my DeviantArt, and if you want a lesson on how to do it right." I'm paraphrasing, but like that's the gist of it, right?
It's just
very respectful, like the language-wise.
Language-wise, it's respectful.
He's actually kind of being trying to be constructive.
Well,
was he serious in that comment?
I don't know. I cannot know the man's heart.
He was dead serious.
I think he knows I think he knows he's being an asshole. Right.
Sure.
Because okay.
Okay, can I ask one question about... So his YouTube channel got deleted. I'm just trying to get a frame of reference for, like, sort of how popular he was. Because I know he was sort of like an underground thing that people... I don't know. People didn't want to fuck with him too much. Like, how many, like, subs did he have, for example? Like, did he get, like, millions of views? Or, like...
Okay, I think for a long... I have sort of a timeline here. Like, for a long time, his stuff was getting, like, not many views at all. He started to sort of become known in, like, maybe the late 2010s.
Yeah.
And like some people...
I've heard more people talking about him lately.
In like the late 2010s, I think people kind of knew him as like another weird Sonic guy, like adjacent to like Tails Gets Trolled and Sonichu and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think I had like heard of him even back then. And then around 2020, I mean, you can see from like the number of posts here that like...
the sheer volume of content starting in 2020.
In 2020, I think it's got to be related to the pandemic. I think it has to have been that like that was the time when he buckled down. So like his output in 2020 like explodes. And then
thank you, pandemic.
Another blessing. You've done so much for us. So another he starts, his output really ramps up, and then he starts to get kind of popular, and then his Patreon, which he had started in 2017, but which had like no traction at all, started to gain a slight like steady uptick in 2020. And then, I'll tell you, he makes these for several years afterwards, and then in 2024 he makes an episode called Sonic Underground X My Little Pony, Bardonic is Magic. And I'm pretty sure what happened is that episode did numbers because pony people found it. And
we've all tasted that succulent fruit.
Right.
It's hard to break away.
So long. Yeah, that one.
So that one did numbers, and so over 2024 he makes a couple more like pony. That one was the Sonic Underground episode. That was like a crossover. He's made a couple more like strictly pony episodes, and I think they did really well. And then that was in... Did I say when that was in May 12th, 2024. Yeah. And then on June 6th, he releases the first of his standalone MLP episodes, Rainbow Dash's Birthday Bash. And then in September of 2024, his Patreon just goes from like 30 patrons or 50 patrons to like, no, it wasn't even that many. It goes from like 20 to like, I think he's got like several hundred or maybe even like almost 1,000. I think he's got almost 1,000 patrons right now, and it's like, from 2017 flatline. At 2020 it kind of starts going up. 2024,
wow,
hit the light. Yeah, that's this guy.
Is it? So he kind of pivoted to a new audience. That's quite interesting that he made such a big change there.
After this so long of exclusively posting Sonic Underground content.
Did like the edginess or like the raunchiness change, or is that still part of the way he does things?
No, it's still there. Like it has not changed at all. They're poopier than ever. They say as many slurs as ever.
Okay.
And I don't know. Everyone just loves it.
It's simply the subject matter that has been pivoted.
Yeah.
From Sonic to My Little
Pony. The other thing is that it's leaned more than ever into like the anime. Into like looking like an anime and trying to have sort of like the emotional sort of like impact of like anime melodrama.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, even though like there's shonen battles, there's a lot of like angst over like a tortured, a star-crossed romance that cannot be, whether it's between cousins or between a serial killer and a non-serial killer or something.
Right. This wasn't meant to be.
We've got nothing in common.
Right.
You and I are so different.
So there's a lot of focus on the angst and a lot of focus on the anime aesthetic and screenshots. And if you look at like the Tamers fan art that he reposts now, it's all about like the anime angle. You wouldn't think that anybody shits their pants in this show at all, and yet they constantly do. So the pony stuff, it really took off.
This is sort of a post-mortem of his previous output, especially in the light of his channel just got deleted a month ago after this big surge.
Yeah, my idea here was that I would explain like what the Sonic stuff was about, which again was his bread and butter and basically where he came from for years and years and years. And pretty much all he was doing until Pony took off. All right, so where was I?
2013.
We were still in the shitposts and
Yeah.
YouTube era.
All right,
Yeah.
so the AMVs and the shitposts, I consider this kind of the primordial soup from which like the action, like what I would call like real Tamers episodes came, because these are not episodes. These are like episodes of a continuing show. This is just stuff.
Interject real quick, because I've just been straight. Did you say at the beginning, like, if I want to watch Tamer stuff right now with his YouTube channel deleted, how can I do that?
Well, there's a website called the new stuff is being reposted in Newgrounds and PonyTube,
all the old stuff.
The old stuff. There's some hero is an archive, made a website called Tamers Archive, and all of his old stuff is up there.
Right,
this is where I ended up watching most of it because the channel was deleted.
Right.
The foresight.
Yeah. So the first video ever
I wonder if that's involved at any point.
was an AMV called Knuckles X Sonya My Will. It's the one that ends with Rock Lee. Shortly, a little while after, there's a video called Mindy and Manic Break Up, and this one is sort of the first one that has like sort of a continuing narrative because it's just clips of the Sonic Underground show with subtitles that indicate that Manic is telling the other two, his sibs, hey, I had sex with Mindy. And then Mindy comes in the room and says, Manic, I'm breaking up with you.
Could you remind me again who Mindy is?
Mindy...
That's his sister, right?
Right. No, that's not his sister.
Oh,
Mindy is the... Mindy looks like this. She's the one with the...
Right.
It's this one right here.
Right.
She's the one with the big boobs. In the original, she's a daughter of an aristocrat. In Tamer's version, she's just a plastic surgery bimbo. So this one's interesting because it then ends with a cut to... it's a Key and Peele skit. And I don't know the original skit, but it's Key and Peele like getting in a fight in like a parking lot and shoving each other. But he has subtitles where they're arguing about like, no, I want to see the end of the episode. Well, you have to wait until he makes the second half of the episode. No, I want to see it now. And then like it took him like 3 years to make the part 2 of Mindy and Manic Break Up. This is literally like a 1 minute video of just like clips with annotations, and it starts with like Key and Peele are like, oh, Tamers12345 is here. He's our god, but also we'll fucking kill you if you don't make part 2.
I think that skit might be the two fanboys like talking in Key and Peele.
Right, like
the uniform
movie theater, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
know. They're standing in front of like a fence.
A fence. That might be a different one.
Yes,
Okay, that's a pretty famous one.
I think this is the first time that like a video was like set up something else and then paid off later, even if it's so small.
Sounds legendary to me.
Right. So just know that like in between these ones that I'm talking about, these are really short videos. I'm trying to pick out ones that I feel like have a semblance of narrative to them. In between these all, there's AMVs, there's shitposts like I mentioned, there's just like speed draws or like videos of me drawing Manic the Hedgehog in MS Paint or whatever. So Manic meeting Mindy's dad is just it's clips of Sonic Underground with subtitles that I think this one might have text-to-speech. He might have been using text-to-speech this early as well. I have it in my notes here. But it's just a little thing where Manic meets Mindy's dad, Mark, who is this guy, although he doesn't look like this in Sonic Underground. This is how Tamers draws him. And basically Mark thinks that Manic is too poopy. Like he smells like poop and he lives in a camper van and he poops in a bucket in his camper van and he doesn't want him to marry Mindy. But then he's like, well, prove your love. Recite a poem for me. And he does. And he's like, okay, you can date my daughter. And he's like, okay, great. So this one here, it's from 2013. There's a music video called Sonic with a money, X Bartleby with a beta symbol, Unlimits.
Ooh, unfortunate.
And this is just, a regular AMV where like he's taken clips of stuff and like just puts drawn MS Paint images of Bartleby and Sonic, on the images. But this one ends with a thing where Barack Obama shows up at the end and is like, Bartleby and Sonic, your love is too powerful. Your love particles are going to destroy the world. Vice President Frank, kill them now before it's too late. And Vice President Frank is manning like a machine. This is just like clips of a guy in a helicopter. Yeah.
Who? Vice Frank who?
Vice President Frank.
Not Joe Biden.
I don't know who that is.
Original character.
It's his Vice President Frank. He later he's called Vice President Ching, but in this one and like 2 other videos he's called Vice President Frank. So Vice President Frank, he's ordered to kill Sonic and Bartleby to save the world, but he can't do it because he loves the Bardonic ship too much. So he turns the machine gun around and blasts Barack Obama instead, even though Barack had his daughter hostage by the CIA and said, I'll kill your daughter if you don't kill Bardonic.
Wow.
And but by killing President Obama, and they say, he becomes the president.
No. Not this time. And they say, but won't they kill your...
Vice President Frank modeled after? Is it something that...
He's literally just a military guy in a helicopter. and he says, but won't they kill your daughter? And he says, yes, Sonic, they will, but I love Bardonic ship that much. It was worth it. And also, you're a better daughter than my real daughter could ever be.
Love wins.
And this actually comes back. This actually comes back.
Oh my god.
Good.
All right.
He'll remember that.
Tamers12345 birthday special. This one's not this one. There's actually another birthday one that's a little bit more interesting. This one's just another Sonic Underground clip show where he's really mean. Bartleby is ordering Sonic, his bitch, to clean his toilets, and Sonic's like, but that's going to make me smell like poop. And he says, I don't care, do it anyway. So he's cleaning the toilets and smelling like poop. And then his sibs comes, Manic and Sonia, and they say, we gotta get ready for Tamers' birthday bash. It's Tamers12345's birthday. He's the god of our world. And he's like, well, no, Bartleby told me to clean his toilets. So they go and set up a birthday for Tamers12345. And then Tamers, and this is only it's just text on screen. There's no images with this. Okay. Tamers comes to Bartleby's house, and Sonic's like, oh, hey, Tamers, those losers out there are setting up a birthday party for you. How sad is it that they think you're going to go to that party? And Tamers is like, I'm glad they didn't forget, but yeah, that is pretty sad. And then he says, listen, I know Manic hid all your birthday presents in his camper van. You can just steal them out of his camper van so you can get the presents and you don't have to go to the party.
I don't have to interact with this person.
And he's like, thanks, Sonic, I'll do that.
So he himself is a character in this
he is,
story as well.
Yeah, he is, some people compare it to how Chris Chan draws herself as the... Right, I mean, it is sort of like that. It's like, I'm basically the creator of this, I'm in charge of this. But he doesn't take himself seriously about it at all.
He's more like Sriracha and Gintama, where the characters might reference him, and then they'll cut to a monkey, and he's like, yeah.
I mean, he does show up and save the world a couple of times, but it's funny when he does it. I don't know. I mean, you'll see.
It's a good metatextual insert.
When he does it, I don't know. The state, I haven't gotten it. Yeah, okay.
Right, yes.
So I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but I feel like the early ones are worth highlighting.
I'm already impressed by the Tamers' appearance.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him again.
That's just text. Okay, so this is 2 years later. Mindy and Manic break up part 2. Key and Peele are like, yes. Mindy, in case you were wondering, she shows up again and says, Manic, we're not getting back together. I'm with Max now. Max is another Mobian. This is just another random side character this is another member of the Rat Pack that Manic the Hedgehog was stealing stuff with, under their crime boss Feral. So he's like, I'm not with you, Manic, I'm with Max now. And that's the end. And Key and Peele are like, well, I hated that. I'm a Mindic shipper. Or Key says that, and Peele is like, no, I think Max and Mindy are a good couple, actually. And then they get in a fight about it. Okay. We're almost at where I think real Tamers starts to begin. And the AMVs and the shit posts and the speed draws and just random videos where he just posts text on screen to say Sonic Underground is sexy, exclamation, and just has a static image spinning in the background. They continue. They never stop.
Okay.
That's why I call it it's the primordial soup. And the whole channel is steeped in it. But
you have to realize this is the kind of stuff that's constantly coming out.
Yeah.
Alongside the stuff that you're actually going to be talking about.
Yeah, just every once in a while, he'll make a new thing that's a little bit more ambitious version of the same. Because it's viewed from one sense, it's all kind of the same stuff. It's all the same, showing Bartleby and Sonic in this fucked up, horrible relationship where they're all the evilest people imaginable. And, but pretending it's so cool. But it's just bigger and more grand, versions of that. All right. Bardonic Picnic Mayhem. This is just this one is basically, it's sort of I don't know if it's the first time he does a little bit of animation. It's just Sonic the Hedgehog and Bartleby sitting on a blanket in a park at a picnic, and a bee stings Sonic's butt. And I think you can see there's a picture in there of Sonic's butt bleeding.
I don't know if that was what we were collectively laughing at when we turned that page.
Yeah.
And that's what I figured that was.
And Bartleby just takes a dagger and stabs the bee. And that's that, but it's slightly animated, and I feel that's breaking new ground for Tamers. Nate.
I noticed that Sonic's ass is very large in this picture.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing about Sonic the Hedgehog in Tamers. He's Bartleby's bitch. He's fat. He has a huge ass. Those are pretty much his three characteristics. I mean, he is still Sonic, but mostly he's fat and he has a huge ass. But better. This is what Bartleby likes Sonic for. Bartleby likes Sonic because he's fat and he has a huge ass.
Okay. Nice.
Not for any of the other qualities.
No.
Make him Sonic.
No, not really. And like, Bartleby doesn't even like fat people. He just likes that about Sonic.
Sonic wears it well.
So, there's like a Christmas special much later where Sonic feels bad about being fat, and Bartleby says, "Hey, don't feel bad. Fat people are cool." And Sonic says, "Like, can you name even one cool fat person aside from me?" And he struggles. He starts sweating for a while, and he eventually says, "Santa Claus is pretty cool." Yeah.
He must. I guess he just likes it about Sonic for some reason. Or could it be?
It's hard to know.
A girlfriend starts fattening up her boyfriend, so that he can't have other options.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I think Sonic was fat. I think Sonic was fat even when they met in kindergarten, which we will dive into their backstory in kindergarten.
Oh boy.
All right. So
they've known each other since they were kids.
There are later episodes that take place in kindergarten where there's even more. There's a lot more fucked up stuff that happens in kindergarten. Okay. In the kindergarten days. Picnic Mayhem, very limited animation. Sonic's photo album. I feel like this one is like reaching towards what Tamers Underground, or not, what Tamers 12345 eventually becomes. Sonic's photo album, it's like mostly static images. There's like very slight animation. It's static images of Sonic going through an album of pictures, and it's like photo montages of the characters from Sonic Underground, not even his original art, but sometimes his original art. Sometimes it's screen caps, sometimes it's original art, sometimes there's Tamers 12345 in his costume, which I haven't even mentioned the costume yet.
Yeah, it's in the collage.
Yeah, Tamers in his cardboard box costume, which is how he always appears. And he goes through this album and he has all these, he views them as happy memories, but they'll be like, oh, here's when me and Manic and Tamers went paintballing. We had to leave because Manic shot a baby. The baby had to have its finger amputated because the paintball shot it off. We laughed so much. And then at the end, all his friends show up and he's like, I want to hang out with my friends so bad. And then they all show up and they all get in Manic's camper van and they all go out for pizza. But then on the drive, Sonic calls Manic Gunky Poops. I think, I've sort of gleaned this from context. I think in Sonic Underground, Sonic calls Manic Gunky Green as like a term of endearment / insult. I'm not really sure. But in Tamers, he calls him Gunky Poops, and Manic's hate being called Gunky Poops. So he kicks Sonic out of his van and he's like, fuck you, you don't get pizza, you don't get anything, die. So it's sad. It's sad and it's tragic. Did I include, where's the trip to Hawaii? Okay. So, yeah. And then I think I got these out of order. Knuckles' birthday sleepover is another, it's back to like montage of the Sonic Underground, show with, there's also some there's a sequence that happens over black screen and it just has text on screen and text to speech. And it just narrates what happens as Knuckles is getting ready for his birthday party and, he orders DoorDash or something and the Mexican guy that brings his, he steals his wallet. And so he goes after him with a gun and then the guy brings his whole family back and they have a shoot. And this is all just black screen. They have a shootout and he calls the cops and there's a whole drama happens as he's in the 30 minutes while he's waiting for his guests to arrive to his birthday bash. And this is actually, Tamers made a post that indicated that Knuckles' birthday bash is actually a direct sequel or prequel to Sonic's photo album, because one of the photos in Sonic's photo album is a picture of Knuckles' birthday party, and they're all giving him gifts and stuff. But then in Knuckles' birthday sleepover, nobody actually shows up to the sleepover, or only Manic shows up at the end. He says nobody else wanted to come. But I think it ends on a cliffhanger, and it's you'll see the rest in part 2, but then part 2 never happened. Right. So maybe it would have actually been continued. Maybe, we never know. All right, 2014. So here by the end of 2013. There's some cartoon elements. There's there'll be a shot of Sonic's face and his face will curl into a smile, or just the camera will pan across an image and that's the animation. In 2014, Sonic Daycare Children Light the Way. This is a really early version of the Sonic and Bartleby meeting in kindergarten story. And this one, I don't know if this one's even canon because there's basically another more elaborate version of the same story told later. And this one has no real animation, and it's pretty much just a song over like panning images with some text on the bottom. Tamers12345 Birthday Bash. This one, this is the return of President Frank. Everyone's getting ready. Yeah.
He's a president now?
Sorry. No,
Okay,
he's still Vice President Frank. No, he did not become president.
I can't believe it. I'm so sick of Congress gridlock.
The Constitution never said if the vice president kills the president, he magically isn't the president now. You follow the chain of command.
Yeah. It's
So
written in law.
That's right.
Right, Children of the Way is basically just like a montage set to music. Some of them are just montages set to music. The Birthday Bash, it's all the characters getting ready for the Birthday Bash, but this time it's not just the Sonic Underground characters, because he'd make shit posts where he'd take other things, like he'd take the Battle of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings and be like, the Sonic Underground kids show up at the end to help in the Battle of Helm's Deep. Or another thing, Oh, I skipped the Lazy Underground opening.
I was going to ask about that underlined one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let me get back to that one in a second. The point with the Birthday Bash is that all these other characters from all these other shitposts he's been making all show up to the Birthday Bash. So like Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli and Obi-Wan and Anakin are all showing up. And then Tamers shows up and he's like, where's my new suit? Where's my new Bartleby costume? And he beats Manic up because he thinks Manic stole it. And it ends with him like, no, we have it right here, sir. And they give it to him, and then there's a photo of him triumphantly walking through the field in his new costume. So, right, if you don't know, the cardboard box costume that Tamers wears in all his live appearances, it's meant to be a facsimile of Bartleby. Like the cardboard box on the front of his head has like the cutout face of Bartleby Montclair of Dresden drawn on it. So like that's just what Tamers looks like in the world of his version of Sonic Underground. He looks like a guy wearing a cardboard box with a face of Bartleby drawn on it, with and toilet paper for hair. So he's just got toilet paper streaming in the wind.
There's like a scatological thing going on.
I mean, it's clean. It's clean toilet paper.
I just feel it's too on the nose. There's a connection here, but okay.
And perhaps that's indicative of why he doesn't use toilet paper for its intended purpose, because it's already his hair.
Exactly.
So it's like, it would be like I'm using my hair to wipe my ass. That's weird.
I just want to highlight that at the 2014 Birthday Bash, Vice President Frank shows up to the birthday party, to Tamers' birthday party, and says, "Hey Sonic, remember you were going to be my daughter? You're come be my daughter, because
Sonic.
Obama killed my real one." And Sonic's like, "Yeah, okay."
Oh, okay.
Nothing really comes of this. Okay, so the Lazy Underground opening. This one has lore. This is the first so another thing that he would do is he would take other videos like anime OPs or like the Lazy Town opening, and he would just draw his characters or put his original art of his characters on top. Yeah, he would just superimpose them and sort of make just put his characters in this other thing. So the Lazy Underground opening is he did that with the Lazy Town OP, but this one ends with Sporticus shows up and finds Sonic the Hedgehog making this AMV or this thing. And he's like, "Why did you make this? You didn't make me look sexy enough. Or you put Bartleby in it, and Bartleby looks sexier than me. I hate that." And he beats up Sonic the Hedgehog. And Sonic's like, "Why did you do this?" And Sporticus says, "Listen, I'm just insecure because there's a prophecy. There's a prophecy that says that someone sexier than me will replace me as Sporticus and become the new Sporticus and become the savior of the world. And I just don't want that to happen. I want to stay Sporticus." I highlighted this one. Okay, the ones underlined in green are the ones that I think are relevant to the prophecy arc.
Oh, okay.
And this one's kind of questionable because this one is the introduction of Obama, and Obama is kind of relevant in the prophecy stuff, but he's sort of his own thing. But I'll give Sonic X Bartleby Unlimits its flowers for that. If Obama comes back in a 3-part series, which are called Bardonic Bartleby X Sonic Crawling, Bardonic Bartleby X Sonic Crawling Part 1, and Bardonic Bartleby X Sonic Crawling Part 2. All right. These are just the...
Well, no, this is great.
These are just the return. These are just the return of Obama. Basically, Obama comes back. I think he kidnaps Sonic, and Bartleby goes after him, and then Manic is like, "I'm going to help," and he leaves a big army of civilians who just love the Bardonic ship so much. They're like, Bartleby and Sonic can't be separated. So he leads this big army, and then there's a battle. And again, President Frank, who this time is called President Ching for no specified reason, is like killed in a blast. He takes a nuclear blast for the team to protect Bardonic. This time he dies for real. They bury him with a tombstone. It's like President Ching,
Vice President.
Vice President Ching, 1961 to never, because Sonic Underground fans never die.
Yes. That's awesome.
So
the through line of confidence, the Tamers, like anything related to him, Sonic Underground fans.
I forgot the end of the birthday bash when he's walking triumphantly in his new Bartleby box costume. He's like, I am the one who will bring back the stench of Sonic Underground to this world. The stench, he says.
Is it still text to speech when he says that?
No, he voices himself. Actually, there's a handful of characters that are voiced by Tamers himself.
Okay.
It's pretty rare, but he does. It's just a recording of his voice, and he has a very interesting voice. He has kind of like a high pitched. He's from Kansas. He recently opened a PO box that's located in Kansas, so he seems to be from Kansas. He has kind of a high pitched southern, I would guess, sort of like a southern drawl. He talks pretty fast. Like, I think it's kind of funny that the way he pronounces Sonic Underground, he basically says Sonic Underground. And when he says Tamers12345, he says Tamers12345. Like he talks really fast.
Yeah.
He talks like that. And when he's on camera, because sometimes he'll film a live segment where he'll be talking. Sometimes once or twice he does like a Q&A. Sometimes he just shows off like, here's my Sonic Underground DVD collection. One time there was like, here I'm reviewing the new Doritos Locos Tacos. He'll talk with his real voice, and he's definitely doing kind of a bit, because he'll refer to like his mom, like he'll say like, Mom, I'm filming a fucking video, get the fuck out of my room. Or he'll he's in his box, he was really awkward, but he'll sort of be like gesturing like this, like, oh, hey, what's up, y'all bitches? Like he calls the viewer bitches all the time. Like he's just playing up like he's being like a real like aggressive asshole.
Sorry to keep,
I think he's doing a bit. I don't have any proof of that.
Right.
I just think he's...
Just to jump forward,
Yeah.
not to keep the...
No, go for it. Go for it.
But like, what's the period, the range in which he's filming these types of things? Is he still
Forever.
doing that in 2025?
Not really in...
Is there a part where he peters off from showing himself?
I don't think he's done it in 2025. I think he was still doing it as recently as 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it does kind of get less and less, but I don't think it ever...
It's like an occasional treat.
It's still fairly consistent.
Well, the ones like separate videos that are just him live in his room are they just happen fairly regularly. Him actually appearing in the episodes themselves is pretty rare. Usually just on special occasions. Once or twice he makes like a background cameo. Sonic versus Tamers, this is just like, I don't even know why I put this one on the board. It's just like, it's like they have a race, and one of them, Tamers wins. Tamers is faster than Sonic the Hedgehog, in case you were curious. Bartleby and Sonic, okay, this one feels like it almost feels like a real cartoon. There's no voice to text or text to speech in this one, but this one has real animation, kind of. This is about Sonic the Hedgehog wins a trip to Hawaii on a radio call-in show, but there's only one ticket, so of course it goes to Bartleby. Right, Sonic doesn't get it. So Bartleby is like going on his Hawaii trip, and Sonic is lonely at home, but then at the last minute, Bartleby calls Sonic on the phone and he says, my bitch, all right, I'll be lonely without you. I have $1 quadrillion. I'll just buy you another
company anyway.
Yeah, right. Like
I let them do this contest and I won.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing he would say.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just buy you a ticket. So Sonic like gets on the road. He doesn't run. He's super. He's like he gets in. No, he has to ask a random family for a ride, and like they get stuck in a traffic jam, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna miss my plane. And then
That's great.
I love Trip to Hawaii. He gets to the airport, and he's like, the plane is going on the runway, and he's like, no, I'm missing the plane, and Bartleby's crying, and he's like, he runs up the tower to the top of the airport tower, and he just leaps off the tower, and he just like, there's an image of here, he just like spins through the air and just crashes into another second plane and just like crashes it on the ground. And then Bartleby sees him like careening through the air and just reaches his hand out the airplane window and like grasps him.
Okay.
It's this one. It's this one with him with his butt cheeks. Just like spiraling through the air after cracking an airplane in half.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was seeing that in his collages that, like, at first, in the early days, he was drawing his own backgrounds. But then somewhere in, like, mid-2010s, maybe in the 2020s, he starts using real-life backgrounds. Superimposing his characters onto, like, a park.
He mainly just puts his character. Yeah, like in the episodes, it's all like just photo background or like Google Maps images or something.
He's working
like that.
smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's efficient.
So right. Anyway, that one doesn't have voices, and also it's basically just like a ship fic. The ones that are just Bartleby X Sonic feel like kind of side content, like they're not related to like the main narrative, which is about the family. So sometimes they don't feel as legit, but I put it on here because it has like that moment of him spinning through the air. It's like he put some effort into that one. He was really trying. Sonic and Bartleby, two lovers at the skate park. This one's pretty similar. It's like there's some like Sonic is trying to learn how to skateboard and he skates into the street and just gets hit by a car. So Bartleby runs out and grabs the guy who was driving the car, and the guy says, just don't hurt my daughter. So the guy just snaps the guy's neck, grabs the daughter, shoves it in his butt, and just farts down her face. And the crowd on the street cheers, like, our hero Bartleby. And also Sonic was fine. He didn't even get hurt. That one's just another, like, he's trying. There's animation going on. Okay, Sonic Underground Zombie Apocalypse. This is at the end of 24. This one feels like an actual episode of something. This one's like, I think it's 15 minutes long. Let me see. Yeah, this one right here and this one right here. Like they go to Walmart to shop. This one has, I think this one has the first appearance of Bartleby's. Bartleby has the longest limousine in the world. He has a solid gold limousine that's so long it takes like 7 hours just to pull out of the parking lot.
That's a genuinely funny bit.
It is a funny bit.
This is funny.
So I mean, this I should have put this one in red because the ones on red in here are ones that are like non-canon. They're like an alternate universe. So like.
Halloween special, Wizard of Oz. But, yeah.
Well, okay, this Halloween special is different because this is Knuckles reading a scary story.
Sure, okay.
So, like, the events are fictional in universe. Right. But most of the holiday specials are real. You'll notice, like, a preponderance of, like, holiday specials. Lots of them are Valentine's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving.
That seems to dominate a lot of his episodes.
Yeah. So, no, I'm talking about ones that are, like, Sonic Underground Adventures in Oz is just Sonya having a dream about going to Oz. Breath of the Wild is just what if the Sonic characters were in Breath of the Wild.
Game just came out.
Sonic, yeah. That was topical at the time. So the red ones are like, this is just like a side story that doesn't matter. Whereas like, something like Bartleby, the Bitch in the Wardrobe, I want to call non-canon, but then who are the Narnia kids? It's like Edward and
Edmund,
Rachel,
Jake, Marco.
Eustace. What?
No, the ones from
it's Peter, Lucy, Edmund.
It's Peter and Edmund. Yeah. Peter and Edmund come back in World War III. So I think I have to call that one canon, unfortunately. Right. There is a World War III. It's all related to the prophecy.
We'll get there.
So Zombie Apocalypse feels like a side story because it's like they go to the store to get Halloween costumes. They get attacked by zombies. They run to the roof. The zombies go to their house and they grab their mom, Queen Alina, and throw her out the window and she dies on the lawn. And they just run up to the top of the roof of the store and just stand there and then it just ends. Like it doesn't even have an ending. So this just feels like a side story. But also, this one had trailers. He was releasing like trailers as he was working on this one. Like he kind of saw this as a big project, like a sort of cinematic. Like he was treating it like a big cinematic project. And then Sonic Underground Christmas Special. Okay, I feel like Sonic Underground Christmas Special 2024. We've like fully arrived at Tamers. This is the family having like a Christmas party, and what happens in this one? It's like everyone comes to the Hedgehog family household. They get presents or whatever. Sonic gets stuck in the chimney. And then his huge ass comes out the bottom of the chimney, and all of the family are like, oh, that must be Santa, because Santa is fat. And he's like, no, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And they're like, No. Oh, now he's pretending to be my bro? That's despicable. Everybody, grab sharp implements to shove up Santa's ass. We're going to kill him, and we're going to take his big sack of toys. But only Tamers is wise enough to recognize, no, I recognize those ass cheeks anywhere. That's Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's pretty hard to miss.
But this one has an incredible line. I'll never forget this. This one, Tamers is at the holiday party, and him and Bartleby are like hanging out, and Bartleby and him are like on equal footing. Like Bartleby is so rich and powerful and beautiful and sexy that he's basically on equal footing with Tamers12345, the literal god of this world. Who wears a cardboard costume of himself. But they talk to each other like they're equals. And Tamers says,
they share a mind.
and they're separate because Tamers says, he makes a suggestion. He says, Bartleby, why don't you and Sonic come down to my house this weekend? I can film you two having sex. I can add some photo filters. I can add some video effects. You slap that ass like there's no tomorrow. I'll slap it on my YouTube channel. And Bartleby's like, yes, that sounds excellent. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, Sonic Underground Christmas Special. I feel like we've really arrived. I've heard some people say that the Great Cereal Crisis is like where Sonic Tamer is like the real first episode. I don't know. I think Sonic Underground Christmas Special is like pretty. A Life Without Bartleby. I'm not sure if this one's canon. This one is a story of like how they met, but this one like is completely contradicted by the kindergarten stories. This is them meeting as adults.
Okay, yeah.
The kids go butterfly hunting, and Bartleby is butterfly hunting, and he can't catch a butterfly, and he's sad. And then they go to the movie theater, and they want to see, I think it's Man of Steel, which was out at the time. But Bartleby has bought all the tickets to every seat in the theater, so they can't get tickets. That means Bartleby can't see, he was all alone, and that makes him sad. Why did he do that? But then he's trying to use a crane game and catch a toy, but he can't do it, and Sonic feels bad for him and goes over and catches like a teddy bear for him. And he's like, and he's like, oh, that's sweet. And this is how they met. This is not canon because then there's a bunch of like flashbacks to kindergarten days. This is like a remake of, where's the one? Children Light the Way. This is like they remade it, but as like a real episode with dialogue and text to speech and stuff. Oh, okay. By the way, I think that, remember how like, as babies they got separated as babies?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now this is a canon continuation. Remember, of the original Sonic Underground story. So I think that when they're babies, when they're in kindergarten, I think they went to kindergarten while they were still babies, and then they graduated kindergarten, and then Queen Alina got the prophecy that said they had to be separated to save them from Robotnik. So I guess they were going to school at kindergarten before they stopped being babies. Also, like I think they go to school on Earth. The reason I say that is because there is other characters that do go to school on Earth in other flashbacks. Okay. So like much later, Robotnik shows up, and Robotnik has these two goons called Sleet and Dingo. So in Sonic Underground, the show, Sleet and Dingo are his two minions. They're these two bounty hunters who he basically, like Shanghai's to work for him and is like, you work for me now or I'll kill you. And Sleet is like a techno wizard with a remote control who uses it to polymorph his big dumb friend Dingo, who he polymorphs him into various things to do like subterfuge or to become a monster to attack. So that's Sleet and Dingo. And they're, in the Tamers verse, they're much older than the Sonic kids. The Sonic kids are like 15, Sleet and Dingo are like 40 something. So there's flashbacks to when Sleet and Dingo were in high school, which would have been well before the events of Sonic Underground, the show. But they were going to school on Earth as part of like an Earth Mobius like school transfer program, right. And they could get bullied for being aliens in a human school. So all that's just to say that like when the Sonic kid, obviously he just uses pictures of real like daycare and puts the kindergartners' characters in it. So I think they're meant to be going to school on Earth, possibly as part of like a kindergartner exchange program. And I believe, like, because obviously they couldn't have gone to kindergarten after Alina, separated them to evade the clutches of Robotnik in accordance with the prophecy of the Oracle of Delphius. It would have had to happen first. And then Bartleby met Sonic at kindergarten, at which point Bartleby bribes the teacher to pretend to lie to Sonic and tell him that Bartleby is a new student in their class. Actually, Bartleby has been going to their class the whole year, but he just sat right behind Sonic, so Sonic just never saw him, ever. But the other kids are like, no, look, he's been in the class this whole time, and they show him a school photo with Bartleby in it, and he's like, you photoshopped that? That's not real. Bartleby would never lie to me. Because he saw Bartleby has baggage. He saw Bartleby sitting alone at lunch, eating, he didn't have a lunch from his parents because his parents are so rich, they're so busy, they're off on another 13-year-long Hong Kong business trip. They won't be back for another they won't be back until you're grown up. All he has in life, his parents don't love him. All he has is his army of butlers and his trillions of dollars and his huge mansion and it's
similar to Chris Thorndike
and an empty fridge
in Modern Sonic.
I'm not familiar.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog. So Sonic feels, this is how it always goes. Sonic feels bad for Bartleby because he has, my parents don't love me, even though I'm the richest person in the world. Out of pity, Sonic does something nice for him. They get together, they hang out, and then something pisses Bartleby off. Like, Sonic will do something like, Manic will ask him to go and help him with his homework, and Bartleby's like, I don't want you to go over there, I want you to stay over here, I want you to help me, I want to cheat off your test. And then he'll steal Sonic's pencil so he can do his own test. So Sonic gets an F on the test because he has no pencil to do it with. And then when Sonic complains, he beats him up and knocks his teeth out. But then at the end, he comes up to Sonic and he's like, I'm sorry, and gives him his broken up baby teeth back. And Sonic's like, oh, he does love me after all. And I saved that tooth all the way to when I was an adult.
That's the kind of sincerity, that is the ceiling of sincerity you can get in this series.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious that you're meant to laugh at this, right? You're meant to see this and be like, what a pathetic character, how ridiculous, how it's kind of it's kind of like cringe comedy where the characters behave as badly as as they possibly could, and you just watch it play out and you can't do anything about it. There's a couple different, there's another one much later called Field Trip, Kindergarten Days Field Trip or School Days Field Trip. I don't remember what year it's in. But in that one, they go on a field trip, and Bartleby has to take a shit. And so he goes and he shits in a bucket of blueberries that Sonia has been squashing, to make blueberry jam. And he takes a shit in this blueberry bucket, and then Mindy spreads some on her peanut butter and jelly sandwich and eats it, and is just a frozen face. And then they're someone shit in Sonia's blueberries. Sonic, how could you do this? No. They're like, Bartleby, how could you do this? And Bartleby's like, it was Sonic. I didn't do it. It immediately throws him under the bus. And it's Sonic, go sit in the bus for the rest of the field trip. You're banned from the rest of the field trip. And then Bartleby comes back and he's like, wow, Sonic, that was the funnest field trip ever. I had so much fun. I made a friendship bracelet. Just one, for myself, because there wasn't enough string for two. and then Bartleby says, and then he says, look at me when I'm talking to you, and starts punching him.
Wow.
But then after he's beaten him bloody, he's like, I'm just kidding, I actually made you a friendship bracelet. And he's like, oh, he loves me after all. This was the best field trip ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's really got that abuse
thing. Just depict the worst sort of abuse.
Same mechanic every time. He does the absolute worst to him, and then does one nice thing, and it's all fine.
When they're kids, that's generally how it goes. Nate,
I don't know if you were going to circle back to this, but we didn't discuss the Great Serial Crisis.
Okay, the Great Serial Crisis. Yeah, it's relevant to the prophecy. I mean, it's a pretty good episode. It's got some really great moments in it. They're at the store buying cereal, and they just can't decide which cereal to get. And Knuckles is like, why don't you get a combo pack? Knuckles is kind of like the voice of reason. Yeah, he's kind of the cool guy, and he's kind of the voice of reason, but also he's the cruelest and meanest of them all sometimes. He just steals from them, and he's implied to just beat them up for no reason and bully them and fart on them, just whenever he wants.
Don't all the characters do that?
Huh?
Don't all the characters do that?
They all do it, yes, but they talk about Knuckles in a way that's he does it the most.
Okay.
But also when something's being weird, he's the one that are why don't you just get a combo pack? He's a
layered character.
He is a layered character. There's more. Honestly, there's more layers to them later. He's mean. he's mean and horrible and a gross little gremlin who is like abusive to his great grandpa. His great grandpa Athair, who is a character in Sonic Underground. Sometimes. Other times, he's a little cutie pie who has a sweet romance with Sonya.
That's nice.
Right. And then like in like back-to-back scenes, in the same scene, he'll be like, Sonya will be like, "You're so cute, I won't hold your hand," and he'll be like, "I fucking hate women. Like women, all women are bitches. Knuckles doesn't have bitches because the world is my bitch." I'm like mixing and matching scenes in that, but like that's the kind of stuff he says. He'll be these two characters at the same exact time. Okay, so great cereal crisis. They're trying to figure out what cereal to get. Alina, their mom, is like doing something else. She sees Mindy. Manic's girlfriend, is there. She's like, ugh, Manic's girlfriend, Mindy. She's such a slut. I hate her. Mindy's trying to get free stuff by shaking her boobs in front of the Walmart employee. How disgusting. Well, I'll beat her at her own game. And she tries to shake hers, but the Walmart employee's like, no, gross. Leave me alone. But this Walmart employee, okay, it's this guy right here, Charlie. This is just a random dude who appears in this episode, and he says, "Hey, you're Alina. You ran over my little brother. You ran over my little brother on his bicycle in your car." And she's like, "It was his fault. He drove onto my driveway. Leave me alone." And so then he's like, Mindy's like, he tries to hook up with Mindy, and Alina's mad about it. So I don't know. This is the introduction of Charlie, who comes back later.
Charlie's on the blackboard behind you, right?
No, that's just a similar looking guy. This is actually Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry, Charlie, Walmart employee?
Charlie, the Walmart employee.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all, the Great Cereal Crisis. That's all that really happens. That's like lore relevant, but it does have some really iconic moments. It's got one of my favorite Bartleby moments is they're coming out of the store and Sonic's sad because he couldn't get the triple chocolate chunky Cocoa Puffs or something that he wanted to get. And Bartleby pulls up in the world's longest limo, and he comes out. And a poor person is like, "You're Bartleby Montclair of Dresden. Please, can I have some money?" And he like begs him, and he's like, "Did you just touch my pants? These pants cost more than your entire life. Now I have to burn them." And he just completely disrobes from the waist down, sees butt cheeks right in the camera. He's like, "Now I have to burn them. Who knows what poor person disease you just gave me?" And the guy says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I promise I'll pay you back one day when I have more money. It's not much, but here's everything I have, and it's like 30 cents. And Bartleby says, he's like, you think that's anywhere close? Here," pulls out a gun. "I'll give you 5 seconds to haul ass." 5, 4.
He's even stingy with his time.
Time is money.
Time is right.
Time is money.
You don't stay rich by being cavalier with your finances or your time. Yeah.
So, but this one ends with another. Yeah, I really love it. There's on his old DeviantArt, on one of his, he would get banned from DeviantArt all the time. He had to make new accounts. He was continually playing a DeviantArt whack-a-mole. But on one, I don't know why, honestly. It might have been people reporting his stuff. I don't know exactly why. I just know his original DeviantArt account from 2017 got deleted in 2012, and he made a YouTube.
2007.
It's from 2007, but in 2012 it was deleted.
Yeah, you said 2017 earlier.
Oh, did I? Okay. Yeah, 2007. But he made a video about it, and it's the Hitler meme. You know, the one where Hitler gets mad at the. But he's
he puts fake subtitles over it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But the Nazis come in and they say like, "Mein Führer, Tamers DeviantArt was deleted," and he's like, "No, I have nothing to live for without Tamers art. I'm Tamers' biggest fan. I heard the mods of DeviantArt are Jewish. Maybe I should kill all the Jews for doing that."
Interesting that this is Tamers' guy who he's this is most upset about Tamers being deleted.
Right.
The other way around.
So it's Great Cereal Crisis ends with another glorious Tamers just like walks up to the Walmart as everyone's like, "Oh my God, Tamers is here!" It's like, Knuckles is like, Mindy, you stupid bitch. Don't stand so close to Tamers. Everybody knows that Tamers' love of Sonic Underground manifests as an aura so powerful it could kill you. And Mindy's clothes just get blasted off. And that's this image here of her being blasted, her clothes are Tamers' love of Sonic Underground.
Love of Sonic Underground is so powerful.
but he's like, like, oh, I'm sorry, Mindy. Sometimes I don't know my own strength. And then they all have a nice bowl of cereal outside the Walmart together.
That's great.
Yeah.
What was the cereal they ended up picking over the...
That's a good question.
I beg forgiveness.
She won't buy the combo back because she said they could only get one. I think Bartleby ends up buying Sonic his triple chocolate chunky puffs, and also Knuckles independently bought some C-3POs.
Okay.
Which I think you see him eating in a later episode.
Is that a real cereal or is this a Tamers?
I think it was probably a real cereal. Okay. Let's see. Let's. I think we've hit the point where I don't have to talk about every single one of these. Sonic. This one's red because he's just reading a spooky story. It's a spooky story about Sonia's doll, Mrs. Pretty Bottom, being haunted and killing the family. That's the image of Sonia with her head in the toilet there. This is Knuckles wrote a story in which her doll kills her that way, but then she's fine at the end.
When in what episode does this screenshot of Manic, right? Manic.
Oh, this is 5 seconds to haul ass.
No. Manic looking at a piercing missiles like flying across the background.
Yeah, that's Wait, where did I skip that?
It says it's in 2015.
It's on the 2015 page.
Yeah,
but
did I not write The Fall of the Sun, Our Darkest Hour?
Doesn't look like it.
Wow, that's so stupid. Thank you for asking. I love Fall of the Sun, Our Darkest Hour.
I saw this and I was like, I gotta know.
I absolutely screwed up by forgetting. I think it would have been like between these two. Yeah, it would have been 2015.
All right.
Fall of the Sun, Our Darkest Hour is, okay, so Sonic and Bartleby, so the sun is headed towards Earth. And they're like, why is the sun headed towards Earth? Oh, I know. I think Sonia knows. She figures it out. She's like, oh, well, why does the Earth orbit the sun? Oh, I know. Well, because it's hot, right? Like cool things orbit hot things. Therefore, the sun wants to orbit something even hotter than itself. Oh, no. And the only thing hotter than the sun is Bartleby Montclair of House Dresden. So the sun is coming to Earth. It's going to crash into Earth. So they go to NASA and they're like, we got to get Bartleby off the planet. No, wait. There's one other way. There's one other way to fix this. The only way, because we don't want to banish Bartleby. The only way without banishing Bartleby is we have to send Bartleby and Sonic the Hedgehog up in a rocket into space. They have to have butt sex so hard that it blasts the sun back into orbit. It's the only force powerful enough. Okay, this one's so awesome. It's cinematic, right? And most of that comes from the fact that it just has a banging Linkin Park soundtrack. Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Like that song plays as they're going to the sun. And there's scenes like that of like meteors raining down, like a big.
It's fucking awesome.
It is awesome.
It looks fucking sick.
Sometimes it looks awesome. And this is the time before the sun gets here. A giant meteor shows up and is falling on the city, and Tamers shows up, and he's like, yeah, no problem. And he takes out. Does he use? No, he just like punches it and like destroys it, and everyone's like, oh, thank God, Tamers, you're here. Can you stop the sun from falling? And he's like, yeah, I absolutely could. But I won't, because I won't prove anything. I want to prove that Sonic and Bartleby's love is so strong that it can save the world. So I'm gonna let them do it.
2015 is when One Punch Man came out. He also punches the meteor.
Yeah. Tamers clearly loves anime. Like it's so obvious. Yeah. It couldn't be more obvious.
But I think we're just done with 2015.
Yeah.
Wait. There's more. There's more to Fall of the Sun.
Oh, well, they're about to have butt sex.
Oh, okay. There's a great line. The sun is falling, and Tamers narrates. He says, the sun is only 2 miles above Earth. It's falling at 800 miles an hour.
Wait.
The scientists estimate it'll hit the Earth in like 2 hours. So Tamers is like standing on a building, and he says like, damn, like they're really not going to do it. I thought they could do it, but they haven't stopped the sun. Oh, well, guess I'll just fix it. But then he sees Bartleby and Sonic, and he's like, sorry, I was just groping Sonic's butt so much that I got distracted about the mission. And then, the camera zooms out. There's a big shockwave. Yes, they had the requisite sex. The sun is blasted back. The world is saved.
That's great.
This one time ever, like in like 2022, someone randomly references the fact that Bartleby saved the world by knocking the sun away when it was going to fall on Earth. Other than that, nobody ever talks about
There's so many other better feats he's done.
Right. This was just Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the prophecy. I'm going to kind of like focus on the ones related to the prophecy. So Mindic Would It Matter? This is just another AMV. It's another Mindic AMV, but it ends with a cut to, and this is, like, he's already animating stuff and but he still sometimes uses old, Sonic Underground footage. He just has footage of the show, and Mark Latour, that's her dad, just comes down the stairs and is like, Manic and Mindy, what are you doing? We're making an AMV. Oh, well, I just had a weird dream. I dreamed that Mindy died in a great war that was coming. Well, it's probably not a portent of things to come or anything.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yes, I'm sure it's fine. Sonic versus his bro at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. By the way, these are all abridged titles. Like, the actual titles are much longer. Oh. Like, I think this full title is like Sonic Underground : Sonic the Hedgehog versus his bro at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. I just couldn't fit it all. Yeah. So I had to abridge. Every once in a while, he just does an episode that's just like two characters having a Yu-Gi-Oh battle. Mm. And like, Sonic uses a Dark Magician deck, Manic uses an Elemental Heroes deck. This kind of pays off because like Yu-Gi-Moto and Kaiba show up in World War III, but it's really not that important. I think he just likes Yu-Gi-Oh. In a Darker Room, okay, this is the return of Obama. So Sonic has like a dream. He's like trapped somewhere, and then he wakes up, and then his dream has nothing to do with the actual situation, which is that Sportacus from Lazy Town has been kidnapped by Barack Obama, now joined with President George W. Bush, and they're torturing Spartacus for information about the prophecy. There were a couple of other shit posts before that had like Obi-Wan and Sportacus talking about, oh, no, it was at Tamers' birthday bash, the one, this one. No, not even this one. It was this one. At Tamers' birthday bash, Obi-Wan and Sportacus are talking about the prophecy. They each have their own version of the prophecy. Sportacus says someone, like a great hero, will wield a golden sword in a great war. Obi-Wan says a great hero will wield a white sword. So there's two chosen heroes that are going to save the world and become the new become the new Sportacus in a great war to come. In a Darker Room, Sportacus is being tortured by Barack Obama and George W. Bush for information on the prophecy. They torture him, and that's it. Okay. Sonic was there when Linkin Park was shot dead. I think that was after Chester Bennington died in real life. This is like a real quick one of, there's a shooting at a Linkin Park concert, and Sonic the Hedgehog and the whole gang are there in Linkin Park t-shirts, and Chester Bennington gets shot on stage, and they're sad that he died, which is exactly how it happened in real life.
Yes.
He got shot on stage?
No.
Oh,
no.
Right.
No, that's not, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened in real life. That was a goof. Okay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, feel free to ask if you're curious about any of these titles.
What the fuck is that title? Right.
I'm curious about this silly hat that Knuckles is wearing here.
Oh,
what's going on there?
That's Adventures in Oz. That's the one where Sonya a tornado hits town. Sonya gets knocked out. She has a dream about going to Oz. Knuckles is the Scarecrow. Manic is the Tin Man. He just does these every so often. Here's another Yu-Gi-Oh one. Sonic Underground Origins, Kevin the Hedgehog. This one isn't really lore. It's not about the prophecy, but it's important. Kevin the Hedgehog is this guy. This is Prince, this is Queen Alina and Uncle Chuck's dad. And he's got Sonic's blue mohawk and Manic's green hair, and his mustache is pink like Sonya. So I guess that's where they get their colors. I mean, I guess he's the king of Mobius because they were the queen. She was the queen of Mobius. But like, he's only ever depicted in like a wife beater. He like comes to take your father to work day and like goes on like a racist screed in front of all the kids, and they're like, oh, we're so embarrassed about my dad, and he beats us at home so often. Yeah. Perhaps
he's the king consort, and the true inheritor of the throne is Queen Alina, and he's simply married in, so he doesn't have all the royal authority.
Sort of the inverse of the French.
Well, doesn't Bartleby have like say over all of them?
Well, anytime.
Bartleby's not the king.
He's not the king. He's just the most powerful man in the world.
He's the most powerful man in the world. I think he is the king. I think there's a flashback episode later. I think it's in Why Robotnik Hates Music is another flashback episode. And I think in that one, like teenage Queen Alina says that her father, King Kevin the Hedgehog, is off like banging whores at the local brothel rather than attend her 16th birthday party. As you do.
Yeah.
But that's Kevin the Hedgehog. This is their deadbeat abusive dad, who is, I guess, the king, but mostly he's just their abusive dad.
Right. What are Chuck and Alina's Yu-Gi-Oh decks?
I wish I don't remember.
That's all right.
Their video is just they have a Yu-Gi-Oh battle and Alina wins. No.
Good. Awesome.
Sorry.
No
Sonic Underground Mindy Sweet 16. This one, Drake Bell. This is the appearance of Drake Bell. Everybody in this universe thinks Drake Bell is a great musician. Mindy wants Drake Bell to perform at her birthday party. she does get her wish in the end. 2018 Sporticus escapes. This is
That's ominous.
This is a live action video. This is not normal. This is not normal content. It's a live video of someone who is clearly Tamers12345, but he's voicing a character that is meant to be Sporticus, is running through the woods with a live action camera. And there's another guy with him. This is the only time another person has appeared aside from Tamers in the Tamers video. Someone else is there wearing a mask who is meant to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi broke out Sporticus from the torture, to protect the information about the prophecy. They run through the woods. They fight another guy called a Dark Warrior, who is just a guy in black who embodies the spirit of people that hate Sonic Underground. And so, the war is between people that love Sonic Underground and hate Sonic Underground. Modern Sonic lovers and true believers in the Sonic Underground.
They're animals.
And they have a battle, and he says, I hacked into Tamers' YouTube channel to post this video. It's the only way I knew to contact him. Help us, Tamers. You gotta help us. As you do. Okay.
That doesn't call it interesting because it's all presumed that Tamers is doing all of this by himself.
Yeah.
And that was like a rare instance of somebody else being involved in the art.
Yeah.
Do you suppose, in the subsequent year when he's blown up with the pony stuff, he has resources to the point where you can think he has had people help him with his output?
I thought you didn't raise your hand. Have you heard about multiple Tamers theory?
No.
Really? You just came up with that off the dome?
I'm generally interested because
okay. That's very astute of you. That's very astute of you because there is a theory. I guess I might as well talk about it now. There's a theory called multiple Tamers theory, which is not as wacky as it sounds. And it's just a theory that Tamers is not a one-man operation, that he has assistants.
It has to make sense, yeah.
The way that
especially the output as of 2020.
his output as of 2020 onward is insane. These episodes are 20 minutes long at least. Some of them are longer. Some of them are an hour long. And they have they're simple MS Paint drawings, but some of them have thousands of them. Maybe not. Well,
how much
there's
is
a lot.
Reusing his assets from when you,
some.
Yeah,
he does do that.
If it was from anime, right? It's from bank animation. So I drew this character in this profile shot here. I could just reuse that if with a different background.
I think there's definitely something to be said. He probably has streamlined his process a lot, but because the evidence for multiple Tamers theory, which again is just the theory that he has at least one assistant, is that in this video there's a second guy.
That's a pretty good case.
Yeah. So at least one other person has been involved. Right. Also, in a couple of the videos that are just him talking in his costume, the camera's moving and someone's holding the camera. Right. And he has claimed that the person is his mom, but he refers to some off-screen mom who's never seen, and that seems like it's part of the bit. So who knows? Also, there's some people say, and I think this is kind of there's distinct art styles. The characters can appear in two distinct art styles. There's similar
to an anime when you have an animation director. Different animation directors for certain episodes are in charge of certain episodes. So the characters, if you put them side by side, they have the same hair and eyes and everything, but they have a slightly different shape to them, and there's consistency with those episodes. So it's this animation director did this episode or this episode. Yeah, I mean, it varies. Even in the same episode, shot to shot. On the one, the characters are off model so often that it's hard to say that he's not just. Right. Just he sometimes draws them this way and sometimes draws them other way. But some people have identified that there's certain traits that are sometimes one particular pattern is followed and some is other. For instance, Sonya, sometimes she's drawn with two different colors of pink between the hair and skin. Sometimes it's only one. I think if you look at the wiki, there's examples of evidence of multiple Tamers theory. I think one artist looks like they're kind of just doodling in MS Paint. The other one looks like they kind of could draw better if they wanted to, but they're sort of making, and that one's their art is cute. I think that when the art looks cute, it's a guy who kind of knows his way around a tablet a little bit. Yeah. But it's sort of dumbing it down too much. But on the other hand, he could have just gotten better at art too. It could just be art evolution. It's not hard evidence. Yeah.
I know, you never know all the details here, but financially, to have other people working, was he in a position where he had the resources to bring other people on board?
We don't know anything about his financial situation.
Maybe he has a Bartleby situation himself and is the heir to a...
He could be super wealthy independently. Sure. I mean, it's possible. He wasn't making any money off of this at all until a little bit in 2020, and basically then it wasn't really much.
Right.
Now he's making okay money. Now he's making a living at the moment. God bless. Sporticus Escapes. Yeah, so this is, you see another guy. He looks like he has a similar build to Tamers. Some people think it might be like his brother or just like another guy he knows. He could be an art assistant as well. It's possible. Nobody knows. Tamers doesn't reveal anything. In all of his, he does some Q&A. He does some Q&As. Did I print out like some stuff that he said in Q&As? I guess there wasn't that much that I wanted to highlight, but like when he's clearly doing a bit whenever he answers a question. Like someone asked him, like, how do you make your costumes? And he said like, I go down to Kmart and I just ask the employees there for cardboard boxes, and like, you know, they just give it to me because they know I'm Tamers12345, or they know I like to make costumes. Sometimes they even make costumes with me. And like, actually, I could kind of see that one maybe being true if they just know him as some guy that like asks them for boxes. But there's other answers that like, they're like, how do you, like, do you have a job? Like, how do you make a living? And he said, no, I'm Tamers135. You know, I'm so famous. I can walk outside and say, you know, I just ask anyone for money and they'll just give it to me.
That doesn't sound true. It doesn't seem right.
It is now.
Perhaps now.
It's canon. It may not be true, but it's canon.
Right,
all right. All right. The next lore relevant one is St. Valentine's Day Special. This one's like super important. Well, it introduces some important characters.
Before you do it, can I just ask, what happens in like the Breath of the Wild one and the Half-Blood Prince one?
They're just send-ups of
the events of those books and then those stories.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Why Half-Blood Prince?
Like the Half-Blood Prince one catches my eye.
Half-Blood Prince, it's just Harry Potter. It's just a Harry Potter parody with the Sonic Underground characters.
A parody. Okay.
Actually, there was. I think this was in also a Q&A. Someone in the same Q&A maybe. Someone asked him like, "How do you think of your ideas for your stories?" And his answer was, "Well, you know, I just see something in real life or on TV or something, and I just think to myself, boy, that would be so much better if Sonic Underground characters are in it."
He's right.
And I just make that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay, Valentine's Day Special. This one is about, there's a kid at school who they say like tried to rape Manic once. And this kid's name is Billy. And he's the son of the teacher whose name I think is Mr. Ferguson. And Mr. Ferguson is obsessed with Bartleby, as is everyone. And he wants his son Billy to marry Sonia so that he can be Bartleby's like father-in-law, so that he can get in close with the Bartleby family because he's in love with Bartleby, and also he makes his son Billy like dress up as Sonic the Hedgehog while he dresses up as Bartleby, and they sleep together. So you know, it's cool. It's really cool and great and awesome. So
that's the Valentine's Day Special.
So Alina is like, Manic, if you're giving cards to all the kids in your class, you got to give one to everyone, even Billy. I don't care if he tried to rape you. You got to be polite. So he skateboards to school the next day, and he does a real cool grind, and he poops himself as he's grinding. But the girls at school come up to him and they're like, "Manic, that was so cool, the way that you poop yourself and you didn't even give a fuck." And he says, "Yeah, I always say, you can poop wherever you want. You just got to be able to own it. You know, they used to call me the poopster in kindergarten." And it's just not the same. It's not the same when I say it than when like the Texas people. I can't.
The eloquence of the text-to-speech is hard to match.
It's hard to match. I'm not even going to try to match its cadence.
It's like this is before TikTok had like a lot of the automated speech. Was just like,
you just got to own it.
You just got to own it. I'm only highlighting moments here because there'd be no point in me like explaining the full plot of any of these because a lot of it is just like comedic timing.
It's a gag series.
It's a gag series where the punchline is like someone gets beat up, someone gets farted on.
Well, I am curious about Sonic Underground Episode 4!
41.
41. That's what that is. It's in 2019.
In 2019, above the Valentine's Day special.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one. Okay, that one's weird.
All that time because this is what he was been trying to do with Tamers.
Right.
This is the first time it's like this is the true 41.
Right.
I think it was in 2018, the previous year, he had said like, "I'm gonna make Sonic Underground Episode 41," right? Because it's a 40 episode series and then it was canceled. So this is the next real episode, even though all of these are real.
Yeah.
So he But it was like a troll. It was an April Fool's joke. It was like, fuck you. But then this one, he actually did make it. But it's only like 3 minutes long, and it's a scene of Sonic and Manic and Sonia running through the forest, and they get attacked by a tree, but the tree is actually Dingo polymorph, sleep polymorphism. It's actually Dingo in disguise. He grabs a tree, and then this guy, Farrell, the leader of the Manic's like adopted crime lord dad, rescues them, and then he hands them a scroll, and they're like, ooh, a scroll. Like, looks like an adventures up gang. And like that's it.
No song?
No. Well, I don't think there's a song. No, it's just like I don't really know what this is about. It's like I think maybe
seem very plot critical.
Well, yeah, what makes this 41? Why in particular?
Well,
is there any like pooping or anything? Is that why it's 41?
I think there is farting.
Okay.
But like this one is like it's like he was trying or he started making an actual continuation of what the next episode, because these are not episode 41 on. These are like these are like after the end of what the series would have been when it ended.
Sure. Right. That we just haven't seen yet. But
so it's I don't know this. I'm just guessing here. Maybe he was like, maybe I'll show the episodes between the end of the actual show and like when my continuation starts. Right. And then he did 3 minutes of it and he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because that's all he ever did. He did show live action footage, like he was showing off his old art. And there's a couple there's one where he shows off a comic that he drew, and I haven't read all of these. I don't know if you even can read them all, but there's some on his DeviantArt, and there's a few pages of comics that are similar. It's the three kids running through they get attacked by a tree, and so I think he maybe wanted to tell like the story bridging the gap there, but it's incomplete. But good. Thanks for highlighting that. I almost missed it.
No problem.
So Valentine's Day, basically, I don't know why he does this. Billy posts a picture on Facebook of himself with a gun and says like, "Don't come to school tomorrow." But he has shit himself in the picture and accidentally posted a picture with poop on his pants. And they're like, "Oh my god, he pooped his pants." Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I guess I was in a fugue state for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I just came back, and that was the first sentence I heard.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that subject matter.
Yeah, I just want to,
It's consistent.
Yeah, I just want to state that that's something that happened.
Yeah, well, wait till you hear. Wait till you hear what happens next.
What really compartmentalized it for me is that this is largely a gag series.
I mean, the intent is to be funny. People wonder if it's sincere or not. I mean, it's definitely funny on purpose. He's not doing this by accident.
Right.
But he's on
absolutely not.
Yeah,
but he's on a different wavelength.
It's been effective for...
I mean, you look at his early art and the stuff he was posting back then, and you wonder about this guy.
Right.
But then this all happens, and you're like, okay, there's a vision here.
Question.
Oh yeah?
Is there any way that we know his age? Do we know how old he is?
I happen to know this because I was looking at his YouTube channel shortly before it was deleted, and it was on a video called Bartleby X Sonic Christmas Fanfic 3 out of 3. It was a 3-part series and posted on December 25th, 2013. In the comments, someone basically, like an angry Sonic fan, says that they don't like this. Right. Or they say something negative. And he gets in like a flame war with this person. And someone says like he's acting immature and says like, how old are you? And he says he's 18. And that was in 2013. So if that comment is to be believed, he just turned 30 like a week ago.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, like he's my age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because his birthday specials are always in like around March 15th, March 16th. I don't know if that's his exact birthday, but his birthday is around then.
The only reason I would like any sort of doubt for like a devil's advocate that like, oh, I'm 18 if you're like posting online and like someone asks you your age, if you're like younger than that, you're gonna default to 18.
Oh, he might have pretended to be being older.
Maybe,
but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's also it's sure.
He would have to be of the age to know what Sonic Underground is and become a fan of it.
Right.
To the point where he developed.
He would have had to be watching TV in 1999.
In 2007.
Or had a DVD or something.
He could have had DVDs. He could have watched it after.
Research on this point, though, Ben.
I feel blessed.
I think that's a fair guess.
I feel blessed to have found that comment because if I looked like a week later, it would have been impossible to see that. Yeah. So I was like, yeah. Because I was wondering that too. Like, is this a kid? And like,
probably a kid at some point in this form.
So in 2007, when he was posting that, he would have been like 13 or something. Like when he was, in 2013 he was 18. So in 2007 he would have been 12. Yeah. So 12 years old and posting that Bardonic stuff.
Strange, but not impossible. There's some 12-year-olds that are into edgy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
As of 2007, with the access to
Actually,
be able to
no,
have
this
that,
is making
you know?
a lot of sense. Thinking it's a 12-year-old.
Because
I was kind of suspecting that he was younger than we were thinking.
Yeah.
Just because
well-
the humor seems a little bit younger than like
Juvenile.
I mean, it's definitely juvenile.
No, I mean like the sensibility of the humor seems a little bit like more younger millennial Gen Z-ish than Gen X.
But he never grew out of it. Is the thing?
He's still making poop jokes
still got
more
it.
than ever.
So that
But
raises
they're-
the question
they're-
for me: is it just a childish thing if it hasn't changed in like a decade? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever pays the bills. You know what I'm saying?
But it didn't. But it didn't do that for like 10 years.
He did it for love of the game.
Okay.
It's like, despite himself, it eventually chanced into being profitable. it
So
seems
the upshot of the Valentine's Day special is Manic takes the picture of the kid with the gun who accidentally pooped himself, and for revenge for trying to rape him, he does give everyone in his class the card, but he prints the picture of the kid having pooped himself on the Valentine's Day card, gives it to his whole class. The kid runs off in shame. Everybody high-fives Manic because he's so cool. Even though Manic also pooped himself while skateboarding into class. But he owned it. He owned it. Yeah.
Confidence is everything.
It is about confidence.
A genuinely heroic thing Manic did, stopping a school shooting.
Indeed.
In some certain way.
I really like Robotnik gets beat by a cake, but it's not interesting to talk about. Just trust me, it's funny.
What happened?
The point is, it's a really funny explosion at the end.
That's all I need to hear.
Sonic finds his father. This one is okay. So right, their mom is Queen Alina.
Lost?
Well, it sort of just hasn't come up before, and I don't think it's ever mentioned in the original series, unless it is, and I just don't know about it because I haven't.
Was like Chuck, right? Didn't we talk about it?
No, that's his uncle.
Oh, Uncle Chuck.
Uncle Chuck is his uncle.
Okay.
Alina's brother, who like molests her or tries to at least.
Okay.
Definitely beats her. You know, he's great. So Sonic. So this episode, they're looking up for Christmas decorations, and they find an old photograph that's been torn in half, and they think like, oh, they tore off our dad from this photograph. Mom, why don't they ask their mom and Chuck why don't you tell us about our dad? And they just refuse. They won't tell them why. We won't tell you who your dad is. So there's something written on the back of the card. So they follow the address that they find from the card, and they go out to the woods to find the photographer who took the picture. So they're who is our dad? And they find him, and he's like a child molester. He's like a child molester rapist. He lives in the woods. They go. No. The photographer.
Oh,
They go to the woods, and everyone's they say little boys go missing around the woods. These parts. Just any adult character that they meet, it's it's more likely than not that they're a child molester and a rapist. This is the world that they live in. It's the darkest universe. But this photographer, he's yes, I do know your father, and I'll tell you all about him. But on the train ride there, Mindy and Manic broke up, which they break up and get back together all the time. And also, Mindy just fucks other guys even while they're dating anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. But they're broken up, so she's I'm gonna have a rebound, and so she's this guy is oh, Mindy, your boobs are really big. I can't help but notice you have enormous boobs, and she's yep, I do. And so they're hitting it off, and this pisses Manic off so much that right before the guy tells them who their dad is, he charges him and punches him off a cliff. But Sonic's no, he's going to tell us about her dad. So he grabs a photographer and he's holding him off his cliff, but the photographer is dangling, and he's so scared that he starts shitting his pants. Of course. And the poop in his pants is adding more weight, and Sonic's I can't hold on. It's getting heavier and heavier. So he eventually poops so much in his pants that he falls to his death off the cliff. And they're well, now we'll never find our dad. And Bartleby's maybe it's better you never find your dad. And his butler's Sir Bartleby, is this because of your own fraught relationship with your father? Perhaps.
So it's a clickbait thumbnail.
Well,
clickbait title.
So twist at the end of this is that they cut to the photographer who actually survived the fall. He's at the bottom of the Wait a minute.
Ravine?
I skipped the most important where's the Halloween special?
The Halloween special.
This one, the 2017 Halloween special. Okay, I won't tell you the twist and
What?
Oh, okay.
This one should.
There's one in red, and then there's the same text in black.
Yeah, they have the same title.
There's several Halloween specials.
They're not numbered.
Where's that?
Yeah,
Well,
if they're dated.
Year.
At least the Treehouse of Horror is numbered.
Okay, the Sonic Underground Halloween special. In this one, they want to build a haunted house to entertain the other neighborhood children. So but like their neighbors, the Johnsons, have a better haunted house, and also they're giving out full-size Snickers bars, and like they can't possibly compete with that. so they're like, okay,
even though you have Bartleby,
Bartleby's not going to spring.
Bartleby won't do shit for anyone.
Bartleby would never.
Bartleby will occasionally like buy Sonic a whole McDonald's franchise just to get him like lots of McNuggies, but he won't do anything for anyone other than Sonic, even his close relatives. It does not extend an inch beyond Sonic and his huge ass.
Say they want to build a haunted house. It's
The family.
Everyone besides.
It's Alina and Chuck and the kids.
Okay.
And but they're like, we'll do our best. So they construct like a tent and they put stuff in it, and they're like, okay, our haunted house sucks, but like whatever. Let's just try to get people to come see it anyway. And okay, a couple things happen in this one. So the kids are coming to the haunted house, and Alina is just racist. There's like she's here. This is Tooth Fairy Girl and her black friend, and Alina's like, make sure that kid doesn't steal anything. And she's like, fuck you. And Sonia coming is like, hey, don't be mean to my mom. And then they get in a fight, and Chuck is like, you're a rude little girl. You don't get any Tootsie Rolls. And he has to leave, and he sends her, and then Mark Latour like comes and puts her in a headlock and like bashes her face on the pavement, and it's like, this is what you get for not respecting Christmas, Halloween or whatever, you know. So, okay, so the Tooth Fairy Girl does come back later, but she's not the most important one. The most important one is Mr. Johnson, their neighbor, who just bears an inexplicable grudge against Uncle Chuck. He just hates Uncle Chuck and wants to kill him and wants to surpass him for no particular reason. But he's actually bankrupted his family, spending so much on his haunted house and these full-size Snickers bars just to upstage the Hedgehog family. So they,
so real.
So he's like, oh, I'm going to go over to their haunted house. I bet it's not even that good. He has his son like takes a shit in their haunted house to scare people off from going in it, even though their haunted house is already bad and everyone's already hates it. So there's no need to do that. But so to get revenge on him for having his son shit in their haunted house, they have him go to their haunted house, and then he's going through their haunted house, and it's not scary, but then he sees Bartleby at the exit, and he's like, oh my god, Bartleby Montclair of Dresden. He's the most famous and sexy man in the world. Please shake my hand, sir. And Bartleby's like, no. And I can't believe, he has to have his butler escort him out, and then Mrs. Pretty Bottom, the doll, the one that was haunted in the previous Halloween special, and then in a later episode, Sonia is talking about Mrs. Pretty Bottom, and Alina is like, we keep that doll chained down due to the incident. But the incident was an in-universe fiction in in the
Halloween special.
Yeah, in the Halloween special. So, like, the part where she was haunted didn't actually happen. But then later, it's like, no, she is actually haunted because they have to chain her down because she moves around and tries to unlock her when you're not looking at her. Uh-huh. So, inconsistency. Yeah. So, Mr. Johnson is like, he's traumatized by Bartleby not shaking his hand and having to be escorted out, and by Mrs. Pretty Bottom like falling behind him and startling him. And he says, that was the most scary haunted house ever. And also, I've lost my house because I spent it all on Snickers bars. And Uncle Chuck is like, well, we all learned a valuable lesson with the power of friendship.
So back to the photographer at the bottom of the cliff.
Yeah. So, wait, there's one other thing that happens in the so they tell Knuckles, they're like, Knuckles is like their neighbor. He goes to their school and he's their friend, and he's mostly Manic's friend, and the others and Sonia and him kind of have like a relationship. Remember, the very first thing he ever posted on his YouTube channel was the Knuckles x Sonia My Will AMV. But Sonic doesn't really like Knuckles that much for no particular reason other than that he's just mean. But Knuckles, they tell him, you gotta man the haunted house and like let people in. And they don't tell Knuckles that they're charging money. So this is the duality of Knuckles. He finds out that the family's been charging money to let the other kids on the neighborhood go in the haunted house. And he's like, how could you do that? I thought this was about the love of Christmas. I thought this was for the children. And they're like, no, we want to turn a profit. And he's like, I can't believe you. I'm gonna kill you, Manic. I gave up my trick-or-treating for this. So he goes out on the street, and another kid is a kid in a wheelchair in a Green Goblin costume is like, oh, you don't have any candy. Here, I'll share mine with you. And Knuckles is like, yeah, you will. And he takes it all, and he punches the kid down, and he beats this kid in the wheelchair, and he's like, now you're gonna go out and get me more candy, and meet me back here in 20 minutes, or else. So now, at the end, when the photographer falls off a cliff, he survives his fall, he wakes up, and a car pulls up, and 4 guys come out, And it's the Green Goblin kid in the wheelchair. It's Mr. Johnson. It's Billy the humiliated kid, and it's Charlie the Walmart employee.
Right.
Yeah, the four of them have formed an alliance to destroy the Hedgehog family for revenge, and they call themselves the Boys. They're four cute white boys that together form a more deadly threat than even the deadly Dr. Robotnik.
Truly white excellence.
So they find the photographer, and they're like, Sir, you got to come with us. We're trying to get revenge on the hedgehogs. Now you would think the photographer would hate the hedgehogs because they just dropped him off the cliff and tried to kill him, but no, he's like, no, I'm so wrong. I can't believe I didn't tell them who their father.
It's my fault for shitting my pants.
It's my fault. It's all because
Sonic tried to save me.
It's
but
all
I shat my pants.
It's my failure that they don't know who their dad is. My quest in life, I have to go find them and tell them who their dad is. I have to pretend to join these boys just long enough to get back to the hedgehogs so that they know. Okay, and then a bunch of excellent content that is...
In 2021, you skipped...
Oh, did I skip a whole year? Yeah, I was wondering, wait, Sonic, Sleet and Dingo Origins, that doesn't happen yet.
Sonic finds his father.
Finished Sonic finds his father.
Yeah, okay. So next, Memorial Day at Burger King. This one is just the introduction of the Doodle Bops. This is like a real children's show about a band called the Doodle Bops. And the Doodle Bops are a rival band to the Sonic Underground, who, remember, are a band in the world of Sonic Underground cartoon. In Tamers universe, the record label dropped Sonic Underground and picked up the Doodle Bops, and now they're the biggest band in the world, and nobody remembers the Sonic Underground.
I just don't remember them ever doing any songs before, but that makes sense. They got dropped from their label.
Yeah, they've been, at some point between the end of the show and the start of They just dropped from their label. Their label is Deke.
Screwed by the
label. The company that made the Sonic show. DIC, the cartoon company.
Deke, yeah.
So this one is what happens with this one? They get them sent. Oh, Rooney Doodle is the lead guy. They're a blue, orange, and Rooney Doodle, Mo Doodle, and Dee Dee Doodle. Rooney Doodle is he's a rapist pedophile that kidnaps kids and molests them in his van. It's like he openly tells them the reason I do children's music is because the little boys and girls really get me going, if you know what I mean. And everyone listens to this and is like, what does he mean by this? Wait, is he saying what I think? Something seems amiss here. And they see kids in his bus, and they're like, "What's going on here?" Just look east. Yeah, Sonic looks east. And they're like, we got to get him in trouble for this, but they don't. They get an incriminating picture of him. I think he's about to beat up his bus driver Bob. This is just a Doodle Bop's character. And Bartleby's on a talk show shilling his new book, which is a ship fic that Tamers wrote. And Sonic sends him this incriminating photo of Rooney Doodle about to do something to Bob, and they put it on national TV, and the Doodle Bops are arrested.
There's 4 consecutive plots.
These ones are really important. Okay, so Jared's paw is taken away. The boys, they have the photographer hostage. They go to a farm where a bunch of... These are some random Mobian characters from the original show. This is Jared, his girlfriend Sarah, his pa. Sarah's fucking his pa, and he is like, Sarah, I told you I'd only give you 7 more times I caught you fucking my pa before I kicked you off this farm, and this is number 3. I'm headed up to here. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like that. You've only got 4 more chances before I get really mad. Allegedly, Jared is friends with Manic, so they kidnap his pa and are like, Jared, you gotta kill Manic or else we're gonna kill your pa. He's like, okay. So the next one is
the boys doing that?
Yeah, the boys. Okay. The boys are the photographer gets shot. The pa has a shotgun. They send the photographer to make contact. The photographer gets killed by pa because he doesn't want... It's because he didn't realize they were white. This is why he shoots them when they come onto his farm.
But they are in fact white.
Yeah, if he'd known that, he wouldn't have shot them. But he saw them coming out of a car, and he was like, "Oh, they're coming to take my farm." So the next one is the battle with the boys, and battle with the boys is basically it's the culmination of the prophecy. Obi-Wan, who there's another one I missed. I think maybe in the ending of one of these. I think at the end of Memorial Day at Burger King, you see Obi-Wan and Anakin are in jail with the Doodles. And then, Anakin shows up and breaks them all out. They all get broken out of jail. Anyway, Battle with the Boys is Obi-Wan shows up and is Hedgehog family, there's been a prophecy. Sportacus shows up, Hedgehog family, there's been a prophecy. Bartleby, you're the chosen one. Bartleby, you have to claim the ancestral sword of the House Dresden. And he goes to claim his father's ancestral sword. He's like, I have no father, but I'll claim his sword to fight for justice.
That's pretty badass, actually.
Yeah, because his dad's still at a business meeting in Hong Kong. Hasn't seen him in 20 years or whatever. So we claim.
I want to just interject real quick.
Yeah.
Why is his name Tamers12345?
You know,
is Digimon even
I don't know. No.
Okay.
Honestly, there might be an answer, and if there is, I feel embarrassed that I can't tell you that. I genuinely have no idea why his name is Tamers.
Everyone knows the reason he's called that. He doesn't have it. There's no.
Gosh, I mean, if it does, I'm going to edit this part out so I don't look like an idiot.
The Digimon connection theoretically would be that there's a show Digimon Tamers.
There is a show called Digimon Tamers.
But it has nothing to do with any of this.
I don't think it's ever been referenced in this.
Is there a Yu-Gi-Oh?
Never done any Digimon art?
I don't think I don't think there's ever been a Digimon reference. He might. Yeah. It's as far as I know, it has nothing to do with Digimon Tamers. As far as I know, it has nothing to do with anything. I don't know what the...
Maybe has Sonic Underground reference, something to do with.
If this is a Sonic Underground reference,
I don't know.
Holy shit!
I don't.
That seems to be the most likely.
I just can't. I wish I knew the answer to that, but I don't. Unfortunately.
Right, that's how it goes.
So Battle with the Boys.
Yeah, Battle with the Boys. You know, everybody shows up. This one is Very Tales Gets Trolled. This one is like every characters from all the. I think there's probably pictures in here of
Avengers Endgame, maybe.
It's it's like all the characters from all my shitposts over the years assemble.
That is in 2019, and
Same
that's
year,
when Avengers Endgame comes out.
Right.
Wow.
Wait, do I not have any pictures of Battle with the Boys in here?
You'll have to watch it on
I mean, I think this one of Inuyasha is from it.
Also, Inuyasha's there.
Yeah, Inuyasha shows up, and Sesshomaru joins the boys. Inuyasha fights on the side. It's basically a battle of evil characters love Sonic Underground. No, love modern Sonic.
Okay.
Evil characters love modern Sonic. Good characters love Sonic Underground. A bunch of like random Mobians show up for this one. They just get all their friends. There's this guy with the glasses is Trevor. This lion-looking guy is Cyrus. This guy who is part of the Rat Pack is Max. They all and then Inuyasha and a bunch of cartoon characters show up. And they're like, okay, well we're gonna go meet the boys. We're gonna, it's going down in the parking lot. We gotta meet them over there at the other side of town. And they just have a battle and on the way to the battle they stop to get a Monster Energy at Quick Trip.
Okay.
And the Joker comes by and Trevor is taking a shit. He's decided to take a shit on someone's car just for fun, and the Joker shoots him, and Trevor's dead. And they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Trevor's really dead." I don't know. There's a big battle. Bartleby shows up with a sword and just starts slaughtering everyone. Basically, there's a big battle. Everyone's dying. Everyone's getting killed. Charlie takes Alina's royal staff. I think this is a thing from the Sonic Underground show. Alina has a royal staff that does magic. Charlie steals it and is now I'm the leader of the boys, because Mr. Johnson was the leader of the boys, but he gets usurped. And then once he does that, all the other boys are like, we don't want to follow Charlie. Actually, we kind of do like Sonic Underground. Modern Sonic actually isn't that good.
They're faking the funk.
and then Tamers shows up and is like, hey everyone, I was going to kill all the bad guys, but since you've all admitted that Sonic Underground is good, actually, it's fine. This is in Tamers, you can be a rapist, you can be a pedophile, you can be a molester, you can be a murderer, you can be all these things, and none of those are great. But if you love Sonic Underground, you're still on the right. You're still on the right. You're still on the right side of history.
You can still be led to the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. Everything else is forgivable, except for liking modern Sonic or not liking Sonic.
You specifically repent
right.
for disliking Sonic Underground. That's all you gotta do.
Adventure 2 actually wasn't really that good.
Oh, right. So Bartleby shows up with a white sword. This is the prophecy. There are the two prophecies. Bartleby has the golden sword of Dresden. Tamers has the white sword of whatever. Obi-Wan had his one prophecy. Sporticus had the other. This is the great battle and the fulfillment of a prophecy. But everyone's dead. There's been all this carnage in the battle. But Tamers is it's okay. We can fix all this. Because if Sonic and Bartleby, if they have butt sex for 45 minutes... If they have butt sex for exactly 45 minutes, they will cross the barrier and it will push them through the time-space continuum. They can go back in time and prevent any of this from ever happening. Right. So they do that. And then they blast back in time. There's There's a song that Tamers, he used it just recently in a Pony like music video. It's called Willow Tree. If only we could travel back in time. Whoa, dance until the dawn. And like this dramatic song plays as they go back to the Halloween special 2017, and they burn down their family haunted house. So Mr. Johnson never gets jealous and never starts the boys. And so none of the prophecy related events happen. The timeline is erased, and everyone loses their memories except Bartleby. Bartleby's the only one who remembers that something has happened. And Sonic the Hedgehog is like, Bartleby, you'll tell me what happened after I lose my memories, right? And he's like, yes, my bitch, of course. But then Sonic loses memory. He's like, no, I'm actually the only one strong. I'm the only one who can handle knowing. For his own good, I won't tell him.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, only Bartleby remembers. All that stuff is gone. Forget about it.
Gotcha. Great corn maze.
Wait, this one, I meant to underline this one and not this one. Well, whatever. Who cares? All right, Great Corn Maze, just, because this big climactic one, this was like an hour-long video, and then like 2 weeks later, the show just continues, like, totally uninterrupted. It's like nothing even happened. The next one is they go to a corn maze.
Well, they went back in time.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's all been reset. Nothing happened. They go to a corn maze, and they're like, okay, well, you have to go through my corn maze, and if you win, you get a year's supply of pumpkin pie or something, and you have to find the pumpkin boys, and they'll stamp your ticket, and you got to get 4 stamps, and then you win. But watch out for the Pumpkin Man, the evil Pumpkin Man. This is him.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's on the board. If you get caught by the Pumpkin Man, he'll attack you and drag you back to the beginning.
Is the Pumpkin Man an adult?
He is adult. He's an adult.
Is he in the minority or the majority of the adult population of Sonic Underground?
I don't think he's a pedophile.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, the pumpkin inoculates him.
I think he catches Uncle Chuck. I think he just beats the shit out of him and drags him back to the beginning. I don't think he does anything else.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, that's pretty much the only thing of interest that happens in the Great.
Basically, the next villain to this arc. Okay.
He does show up again, but no, he's not the next villain. S&B goes skating for Valentine's. In this one, it's Valentine's Day. Manic is like, I'm going to treat Sonic and Bartleby to a roller rink. Oh yeah, Mark?
Did these actually come out on Valentine's Day in real life?
Yeah. Most of these did like come out on or around the holiday that they're themed around.
What a fitting treat for the day.
Yeah,
Just
it's
go
like
home on Valentine's Day, wonderful date, time to sit down and watch Tamers.
Like so many of these are like seasonal or holiday, and like he timed the release to be like. There's one or two that break that pattern, but yeah, by and large, he like would release a holiday special or a Halloween special on Halloween and Christmas, etc. So basically, Manic is like, I'm going to take you to skating, and Bartleby is like, this roller rink is disgusting. I won't go in here. It's for poor people. And Sonic is also disgusted by it, but he's like, give it a try. They go skating. Eventually, Bartleby's like, oh, I can't believe I just want to be with Sonic. I don't care if it's poor. So they have there's a couple skate, and they have a skate off against Robotnik. Did I skip Sonic and friends play with their balls? In this one back here, where's play with their balls? Part
it's
1.
Right under the Sporkus escapes.
Yeah, Sonic and friends play with their balls is the introduction of Robotnik and Sleet and Dingo. This is one where they have a bowling team, and they kick Knuckles off their bowling team because he's a terrible bowler, and they get Mindy on their bowling team because Mindy told Manic that she's good with balls because she's a slut, and Manic like didn't understand that she obviously didn't understand what kind of balls he was talking about. He just assumed she was talking about sports. And so she joins the team, but she's even worse than Knuckles. So Knuckles in revenge goes and joins Robotnik and Sleet and Dingo's bowling team, and they have a bowl off. And it's the introduction of Sleet and Dingo, and Sleet and Dingo are like my favorite, but they get more prominent later. So anyway, but they're here in Skating for Valentine's, and Robotnik and Bartleby and Sonic have a skate off. Obviously, Bartleby outskates everyone because he's a god and nothing he does is fallible ever. But the guy who announces the skate off is just a random guy with a big like Valentine's Day heart on his head. And for some reason, he shows up later, so I'm mentioning him. Okay, Sonic Underground, Mindy's sisters comes to visit. This one's not actually prophecy related, but this one's the introduction of Mindy's 2 sisters. Mandy, this blue-haired one, and Flora. The thing about Mindy is that, right, she's a big boob bimbo plastic surgery. But like, I feel like Tamers kind of gets bored of that angle after a while, because more and more as the series goes on, he kind of like stops drawing her like that and will just draw her looking normal with she'll flip back and forth in like the same exact scene. But sometimes it's like, if that's not important, she'll just like be wearing a shirt. I think you can probably see. Oh yeah?
Well, point out first what you were...
I was going to say, I think there's probably pictures of her looking normal somewhere in here. But anyway, we were going to ask a question?
Well, it seems like the prophecy's been fulfilled. You're telling me there's more to it?
Yeah, the prophecy was fulfilled, but there'll be more. There's a little more prophecy left to go.
Okay. I guess they haven't replaced Sporticus yet, right?
They haven't replaced Sporticus. That was part of the prophecy, and that does come back.
Okay, fair enough.
So... Did I mention that Mark, Mindy's dad, is just like a misogynist? Like that's his whole thing. He's like he's a big burly. I mean, everyone's kind of a misogynist. Like everyone's misogynist, everyone's racist, everyone's everything bad you can be. Mark's like whole thing though is that he's like he loves America and he fought in wars and like women are weak and he's just like hello everyone, Mindy, bounce your boobs for our neighbors because women belong in the kitchen or bouncing their boobs or having babies for men. And that's what. Does everyone understand what I'm saying? No? Well, you will one day. Anyway, I'm going to go work out in the gym. Goodbye.
Mindy's dad?
That's Mindy's dad.
Yes, all right. There is a screen cap of this.
Yeah.
Classic line read right here.
So her two sisters, Mandy and Flora. Mandy is basically just Mindy again, but like evil. She's like on the run from the law. Flora is actually their adopted sister. Okay, so interesting Sonic Underground tidbit here. In a Q&A, or in a video... Tamers12345 said that he addressed like misconceptions about Sonic Underground. And apparently a myth is that Mindy appears in episodes other than the one that she features in. Because there's like one spotlight episode that's about her, and people say that you can spot her in the background of other episodes.
That's an extra.
Yeah, but he says no, that's not true. There are other characters that resemble her, and then to illustrate this, he shows a picture of someone that looks kind of like Mindy, but she's got blue hair. And I'm pretty sure that's why Mandy looks like this. I think this is meant to be that background character that people confuse for Mindy. Right, so she's like an evil Mindy. Flora is an adopted daughter, and Flora is a pixie that Mark adopted years ago as a baby because, he explains, he went to the Emerald Peninsula. This was on Mobius, back before the end of Sonic Underground. Oh, in Battle with the Boys, they actually do explain why they're living on Earth now.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is because Robotnik is conflicted about whether he'll join the battle because he doesn't want someone else to kill Sonic. He wants to be the one to kill Sonic, but he's so scared of the boys because four cute white boys are more powerful than him. But he eventually puts on a mask so he can go and help Sonic in the battle on a motorcycle, but it falls off, and he's like, "Oh, Robotnik, you came to help me after all." So Robotnik. Crud. What was I talking about?
Oh, we're back on Earth.
Yeah. Basically, the story is. Eventually, the prophecy was fulfilled. Manic and Sonia and Sonic and Alina did reunite and form the Council of Four, as the Oracle of Delphius predicted. And they did defeat Robotnik. However, Robotnik's conquest and dominance over the planet had already done so much damage to the environment that it was rendered uninhabitable. Basically, all the Mobians just had to get in a rocket and immigrate to Earth, just because their own planet was too messed up. So that's what happened, and it must have happened like literally a couple months ago,
right?
Because all the characters,
yeah,
they're all the same exact age as they were in Sonic Underground.
And this rocket was funded by Bartleby, perhaps.
I don't think he would do such a thing out of the kindness of his heart.
That's a good point.
but maybe, I don't know. They got in a rocket and they came to Earth, and that's why. They like not that long ago.
Okay.
So in case you were wondering, anyway, I mentioned that because
we were at SMB skating for Valentine's. I don't think it's that.
No, it's Mindy's sisters come to visit.
Okay.
Right. So this was back on Mobius. Mark was on the Emerald Peninsula hunting for mythical beings to like sell them into slavery, and he found a baby pixie. This was Flora. but like babies aren't worth that much, so he didn't want it. So he tried to take it to the local pixie population and just give it back. But the local pixie population are pink pixies, and Flora is a blue pixie. And the pink pixies and the blue pixies are at war with each other. And they say that being a blue pixie is like being black if you're human. And they say, we don't want that blue one. If you leave it with us, we'll just eat it. Just
like real life.
Just like real life. So Mark's like, I guess I might as well take it with me. So he just took it back because why not?
Is Flora the one on the poster next to...
This is Flora. Okay. In Sonic Underground, she does appear in like one episode. She
has a haunting gaze.
Yeah, that's just kind of how they look like. So in the original show, she's a pixie that appears in one episode and just grants the Sonic siblings like a magical boon of like an emerald medallion that I think makes them like invisible or something. But she's not actually in the show. She's not related to these guys at all. She's just a one-off like magical pixie that shows up and gives them a thing. But now she's been adopted and she's there. And actually, when the Sonic kids meet Mindy, they're like, hey, you look kind of familiar. Do we meet you? Oh, yeah, I met you that one time, and I gave you that emerald medallion on the Emerald Peninsula. Do you still have it? And Manic's like, oh, well, one time my toilet got clogged, and like I tried to like use it to unclog, and like I lost it down the drain. And she says, well, everybody makes mistakes. Flora is like, okay, she'll later get Flanderized. She's initially characterized as like a good girl who doesn't sleep around and want tons of plastic surgery. And Mindy and Mandy and even Mark kind of find this disgusting and like they're like ew, gross, like you're ugly and disgusting. And Mark is like, now, we may not approve of her alternative lifestyle, but she's still your sister.
There it is.
Yeah. So this episode, there's a big twist in this one. The other two sisters hate Flora, but actually, Mindy only hates Flora because Mandy told her to hate Flora, but she told her not to trust Flora because Flora was suspicious of Mindy. It turns out, and she has video evidence to prove this, Mindy killed their mother on her sixth birthday. On her Mandy killed their mother, the evil sister, on Mandy's 6th birthday not because their mother wouldn't let her get plastic surgery. She would. Not because their mother wouldn't let her get more plastic surgery. She would let her get more plastic surgery. But because she wouldn't let her get more plastic surgery right now, today, she said, no, you have to wait till tomorrow.
And she's 6 years old.
Yeah, so she's 6 years old. There's a scene where it's like, look, I have CCTV footage from that day. And it's like, it's Mandy on screen. It's like, Mom, I'm going to kill you. See, she said she's going to kill Mom. And Mindy's like, well, that doesn't prove anything. She could have been talking to anyone. Oh, no, maybe she was just mad. It's like, no, look at this one. And it's Mandy coming out with a bloody knife saying like, haha, I've killed you. He says, do you see? He's like, well, that blood could be anyone's blood. Right. You know. So in this one, there is like a redemption where Mindy is like, oh, Flora, I'm so sorry. I should have trusted you. Mandy, you're bad. But then the cops show up because Mandy, sorry, I'm going to mix those names up. Mandy's on the run from the cops, and the cops show up and are like, we got the house surrounded. And Mandy was like, oh, I always keep a shotgun shoved up my ass, So they pull out guns and they have a big gunfight against the cops, trying to protect Mandy. They just found out that like Mandy killed their mom, but like they're still trying to protect her from the cops. I guess blood is thicker than whatever. Blood is thicker than shit in this series. So this is the scene where during this police firefight, Bartleby takes a lasso and throws it over a police helicopter and pulls the helicopter down. But they're like, oh my God, Bartleby's so strong, he's pulling the helicopter to the ground. No, he's actually so strong that he's pulling the earth up to the
No fucking shot.
But then they're like, no, he's actually so strong, he's pulling the entire galaxy towards the earth. And then he crashes the sun into the helicopter.
Luke Hobbs wishes he was this strong, all I'll say.
Yeah, so after the firefight, they're all like, well, Mandy, you better get going. The cops are on your tail, and she just walks off. They found out she killed their mom, but they're like, well, still family though. So she just leaves. And then later, there's no, Mindy and Flora make up in this one, and later they're like, no, Flora, I hate you. You're ugly. Me and Mandy get along better. It goes right back to how it was. Great Easter egg hunt. They're at church. It's an Easter egg hunt. Robotnik shows up. He's put bombs in the eggs to blow up all the little children. They're like, well, we got to stop him. The bombs start going off. And Cyrus and Trevor are there. Cyrus and Trevor are kind of background characters that will get a little bit more spotlight. Basically, their thing, I mean, they're basically just gay, but they're like, we don't want to admit that we're gay. They're a closeted gay couple. And Cyrus gets exploded by an Easter egg, and he hits his head, and the memories of the other timeline come flashing back, and he remembers the battle with the boys, and he remembers that the Joker shot him while he was taking a shit at the Quick Trip. He's like, what's going on? What does this mean? After the bomb set fire to the Easter egg hunt, Bartleby pees the fire out. He just drowns the entire churchyard with urine, and that's how they solve the situation. Jimmy and Hannah on Dr. Phil. Okay, yeah.
Can you briefly go over there's a ninja in Knuckles' attic?
Oh, God. Did I skip Thanksgiving at Knuckles' house?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so Thanksgiving at Knuckles' house, right? Knuckles, he doesn't have parents. He lives with his great-granddad, Athair, who's like an echidna wizard. And in Sonic, actually, did I already go by
so intertwined.
Neighborhood Picnic or
Neighborhood Cookout?
Yeah, Neighborhood Cookout. In Neighborhood Cookout, Athair comes to the cookout and is like, Alina, your kids are terrible. They bully my poor little Knuckles. And Alina's like, no, Knuckles bullies my kids. And then she said, her line is, why just the other day, Sonic told me Knuckles held my boy Manic down and gave him the thickest, the biggest, stinkiest, chunkiest beef stew, the likes of which this world has never seen. So she's like, Athair, Knuckles is lying to you about all this stuff. My kids don't bully him. Knuckles is mean, but he just pretends he's the good one to like get on your good side. And Knuckles is like, Athair, give me $20. I want a video game. And he's like, but I just gave you $20. And he's like, okay, we'll make it 40 then. And Athair's like, okay. I'm paraphrasing, but he's just taking all Athair's money. And he says, like, Athair's my bitch. My great-grandpa will do anything I tell him. Great-granddad, pull your pants down right here at the cookout. And he does, and he spanks his great-grandpa's ass in front of the whole... And even the other kid... Like, behavior like this is not that uncommon, but even the other kids are, like, watching in disgust. Like, why are you doing this, Knuckles? Like, please, don't do this. So he's, like, terrible and cruel to his great-granddad Athair. This is one angle of Knuckles. It's the uncute angle. And then in Thanksgiving at Knuckles' house, they go to his house for Thanksgiving. Athair doesn't know how to do Thanksgiving. He cooks slices of bologna. And they ask, like, why doesn't Knuckles have parents? And the short answer is that Knuckles' parents worked for the Yakuza, and then they tried to quit the Yakuza, but, like, they still owed them, like, $12, and they wouldn't pay it. And so they're like, well, we're not letting you quit then. So they've been held captive working for the Yakuza in Japan this whole time. But because Athair doesn't know how to cook for Thanksgiving, his father, Jeremy the Echidna, secretly appears in a puff of ninja smoke in the yard and leaves delicious bento boxes on the windowsill for the family, saving Thanksgiving, and then disappears before anyone's seen him.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. So then there's a ninja in Knuckles' attic. Basically, a ninja from the Yakuza appears in their house and, like, plants a bunch of paper bombs. I think this is like a Naruto thing, like paper bombs. Yeah. He plants a bunch of paper bombs in the house, and he's like, him and Athair have like a magic duel because Athair's a wizard, and he's like, I've got you, Athair. Choose. Should I kill you or your grandson? He's like, kill my grandson, and he's like, that's the wrong answer. I'm killing you. So the house just blows up. In this, it seems like they all die. Knuckles appears like shortly after. And then a while later, Athair does reappear, and they're just like, "Oh, Athair, you're finally out of the hospital after that ninja attack." So yeah, they get attacked by the Yakuza.
So I resist the temptation to ask a lot about how Sonic meets Hatsune Miku. That sounds great.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's just there's a Miku concert, and they're like, we big Miku fans, and they go and meet her, and she's a huge bitch, and she's evil, and she's mean to her producer, and I think she pulls out a gun and shoots him in the back room.
Right.
But then she's mean to the other Vocaloids, and she doesn't let them get any of the spotlight, and then she goes to take a shit, but then she runs out of toilet paper, and she realizes that, oh no, there's none of my friends are here to hand me toilet paper, and she realizes the value of friendship, and then
the same plot that happened to Bartleby in the 7-Eleven.
Did I mention when they stopped at Quick Trip on the way to the battle with the boys? There was like a bomb in the toilet, and there's like also another child, and like the boys left a bomb, and like it blows up, and it blows up this other child in the bathroom. But Bartleby is just like, well, good thing my huge muscles protected me. You gonna ask something?
I was just gonna ask, does he use the text to speech for Hatsune Miku, or does he get the Vocaloid voices for them?
That would have been cute.
I think he voices Hatsune Miku himself.
Even better.
I think he uses his own real voice pitched up.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I was trying to say, forget Miku, that's fine. But I'm more interested in Sonic finds out about coronavirus.
Yeah, that's that was in March 2020.
Right,
it was it's just like a little montage of Sonic and Bartleby watching the news. There's stories about the coronavirus. They're like, oh no. And then Sonic goes to sleep and he has a dream about meeting Lightning McQueen. He's a car and he races Lightning McQueen, or he's gonna race Lightning McQueen, but then Lightning gets coronavirus from his boyfriend Mater, and he can't do it in the race. And then, oh no, and then it ends with a little text scroll that's like, protect yourself. Not even cars are immune. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy and Hannah go on Dr. Phil. I don't know what Scary Godmother is, but Jimmy and Hannah are characters from Scary Godmother, and I guess Jimmy's like a mean boy, and they go on Dr. Phil, and everyone hates Jimmy, and everyone in the audience pelts him with tomatoes, including Bartleby. He's in the audience, and he throws tomatoes at this kid, Jimmy.
Deserved, I'll say.
Yeah. So he seems like a nasty kid. So Jimmy runs off stage into the back room, and then some guys in cloaks appear, and they're like, Jimmy, we're the new boys. We want to recruit you. Join us. And Bartleby is like, he's like secretly hiding behind the wall, and he's like, thank goodness I had the presence of mind to put a tracking device in that tomato I threw at that child. Now I'll be able to track Jimmy wherever he goes.
Nice.
It's not prophecy relevant, but Why Robotnik Hates Music is a flashback to on Mobius when Robotnik was a kid. His father's name is Dr. Trobercon, and he's not a doctor. He's like a musician. He's a deadbeat guitarist who gets invited to play at Princess Alina and Chuck's 16th birthday party. But he's not invited because he's a good musician. He's invited because he sucks so bad. He's their jester. So he plays badly for their amusement at the 16th birthday party of Alina, and then they have him executed because he played so bad he ruined the birthday party. So they get him to, they're going to execute him, but the noose breaks and he runs into the woods, and Robotnik never saw him again. And that's why Dr. Robotnik hates music. Remember, because in the original cartoon, the Sonic Underground are battling against Robotnik with the power of music. Right. So this is why that all happened. All right. Sonic gets stuck in an elevator.
Sonic meets Bartleby's parents. He's back from a business trip.
Oh, yeah. In this one, they finally get back from a 13-year-long business trip. I mean, they look exactly like Bartleby does, but like they're humans. They're shaped exactly like him, like this. But they're just... He's a mink, by the way, is what the type of creature that he is. But they are just shaped identically. They have the same outfits and the same hair, but they're human. And, they're stuck. Oh, his dad is voiced by Tamers. His dad has Tamers. Yeah.
Do they have a similar power level to Bartleby?
They're also rich, but no. They're normal people. They're normal people who are rich. He also has a twin. This is only referenced in a couple of flashbacks. Yeah, they're like normal people, and they're pretty pathetic. And if Bartleby wants, he can just mop the floor with them and wipe them out. Bartleby has a twin brother seen in like 2 flashbacks who says that in these flashbacks, he's like, yes, I'm the other son of the Montclair family. As you know, our family traditions say that like when we turn however many years old, the siblings must battle to the death, and whoever wins, inherits the family fortune. So this is why we never see this guy on Earth, because I guess Bartleby killed him. Yeah, I mean... Other than the fact that they look funny and talk funny and are silly, I don't really have that much to say about Bartleby's parents.
They get introduced.
But this one ends. This one has a thing at the end. Well, what year are we in? Are we in
2020?
Close to the end of 2020. So the new boy. There's scenes with the new boys in. You know who Sid the Science Kid is? He's like a puppet.
That's from PBS Kids.
Yeah, there's a PBS.
To like Doodle Pops or whatever. He just takes from children's cartoons.
Yeah, so the new boys go to Sid the Science Kid's house where he's been tracking the prophecy. Like he saw the episode of Dr. Phil that Jimmy was on. He's like, something's not right. Yeah, he's like, something's not right here. He saw the CCTV footage and he's like, oh my God, who are the new boys? What does this all mean? So the new boys come to his house and they reveal to him that there's more to the prophecy actually. The prophecy also says, okay, well first they reveal who they are, right? And the new boys, they unhood themselves, and they are... this is so embarrassing. Oh yeah, okay, so the boys might have actually introduced themselves in Jimmy and Hannah on Dr. Phil, but it doesn't really matter. They reveal themselves... Okay, so the new boys... Well, okay, so the new boys are... Okay, it's Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. It's Rooney Doodle from the Doodle Bops, who we know, of course. It's the heart guy from the roller rink. It's the Pumpkin Man is one of the new boys. And also, and I'm sorry, I completely forgot to mention Randy. This was also...
you mentioned Randy with the dual buffs, right? Or is that Bob?
No, that's Rooney.
Sorry.
That's Rooney.
No, I meant like the bus driver.
That's bus driver Bob.
That's bus driver Bob.
No,
this is Rudy.
Randy. No, not Rooney. Randy is the new leader of the New Boys, and he was from the 2017 or 2016 Valentine's Day special, the same one with Billy. Okay, so another thing that happened that episode was a mailman arrived with a package for Alina, and it was flowers from a mysterious secret admirer. And it was actually, she figured out it was actually from Chuck, her brother. And she's like, why did you do this? And he's like, no, I swear it's not for me. So he called, and also the mailman isn't even a mailman. It's just our neighbor, Randy, dressed up as a mailman. And he says, no, that's not true. And he gets on the phone and he says, Randy, she's figured it out. Listen, you have to help me. I paid you $12 to help me with this. You have to help me convince her that it wasn't just you pretending to be a mailman. I have to make her think that you were actually some random rapist pretending to be a mailman. So she knows I didn't just hire you. So go get your son and beat him in the window of your house so that she thinks that you're a random assailant who just wandered in there, so that she knows that it's not you. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. So now we find out that Randy went to jail for beating his son because Chuck told him to. And so he wants revenge, and he's decided to lead the New Boys. Yep. And who among us wouldn't have done the same? All right.
Sonic's second elevator.
Honestly, thank you for keeping visual track. Yeah.
How much of these characters are original to Tamers, and are they all just repurposed from Sonic Underground?
Okay. I mean, all the hedgehogs and all the...
Not all the hedgehogs, right? Like
not Kevin. Kevin is a new one.
Okay. Kevin's a new character? He wasn't in Sonic?
No. Oh. Kevin the Hedgehog is not real. Uncle Chuck is real. All these... Yeah, I mean, not Tamers, obviously, but these guys are all Mobians. These are all Mobians. The ones on the farm, the random friends that met up for the Battle of the Boys, Robotnik and his... Dr. Trobercon is an original creation. That's not real.
Man seems original. Man seems original.
All the humans are original.
Okay.
All the normal guys with this face.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
with the exception of like lazy town characters like Robbie Rotten and Doobop. There's certain children's cartoons.
Yeah, the ones that are stolen from some other cartoons are not real. Okay, so Randy is the leader of the New Boys, and he says there was more to the prophecy.
This for a second.
Oh,
to like show the rest. Like,
oh, could they not see it?
There's just like a few of them that are cut off.
I mean,
that gave it like
okay, all right. Randy says there was more to the prophecy. Also, so Robbie Rotten has stolen an apple from the sacred tree of Lazytown. And the prophecy says that if someone eats an apple from the sacred tree of Lazytown and then immediately takes a shit, everyone in the world will remember their memories of the alternate timeline.
All right.
So he just does that.
Okay.
And he says, where's the bathroom, Sid? I gotta take a shit after I eat this apple. And he says, it's right down the hall. And he says, never mind, I'm taking it in your mouth. So the boys are back in town. The new boys.
So the new boys revived the old boys.
Well, they're new. I mean, they don't share any members. Actually, it's revealed, maybe now, maybe later, it doesn't matter. It's revealed that Mr. Johnson was going to start the new boys, but when he went to get Randy out of jail, I think to bail him out for beating his son, Randy was like, I'll join the new boys, but I don't want you to be the leader. So he beat up Mr. Johnson and is like, I'm the new leader. Okay. So Sonic gets stuck in an elevator. Bartleby is going to make the $1 trillion bill. It's exactly like that episode of The Simpsons where they make $1 trillion bill. Bartleby's like, my bitch Sonic loves Johnny Depp. It's his favorite actor. So I'm putting Johnny Depp as the face on the $1 trillion bill. But he won't, but he's too cheap to actually get the real guy. So he gets...
Despite having the funds to make $1 trillion bill.
Yeah, but he's too cheap. Right. So he gets...
That's really expensive.
Yeah.
So he gets a random impersonator named Robert. So they're like, okay, well that's great. They get stuck in an elevator on their way out, and the elevator cord breaks, and their elevator's going to fall. But then Robert, the Johnny Depp impersonator, saves them from the elevator, but then it falls and he dies. So they walk outside and they're like, "Oh, Robert saved us all. Good thing he'll be commemorated on the $1 trillion bill." And Bartleby says, "Nah, I don't know. I don't want to do that anymore." So, rest in peace, Robert.
There's the love on summer camp.
Oh, Ghost of Summer Camp. This one is just about playing dodgeball, and Bartleby is like so powerful that he kills people. And even as a toddler, he was so powerful he was banned from playing dodgeball because he would kill people. He'd kill children in dodgeball. Yeah, we don't have to go through the details of it. But the point is that one of the camp counselors at summer camp is secretly this guy called Professor Majorcord, who kidnaps Athair, Knuckles' granddad. And Professor Majorcord is a character from another, like, even more obscure children's cartoon, or not a cartoon, just a live-action show that was themed around music. And Tamers uploaded a video a little while before this where he basically is like, look, guys, I found something weird on the Doodlebops wiki. Someone called DDDoodle97 like keeps making all these uploads, or keeps making all these edits to claim that Professor Majorcord from... I forget what the show... It's a different show. That Professor Majorcord from this other show is secretly the Doodlebop's long-lost uncle. Who is this mysterious account? I think it's probably just him doing this, and then pretending it's a conspiracy. But so, yeah, Professor Majorcord, he's like, I don't know, he's just a guy. He has a bunch of child slaves, and he kidnaps Athair, and also he has Robert prisoner somehow. I guess he didn't die in the elevator crash.
It appears to be a show just called Kid Songs.
Kid Song, yeah, that sounds right. It's not particularly well remembered.
Could you at least like quickly talk about Sonic and Robotnik battle for a PS5?
Where is that one?
It's in 2021. It's right.
Yeah, Sonic and Robotnik battle for the PS5. Actually, I'm glad you asked, because this one is why I mentioned the Tooth Fairy Girl. Okay. There's an arcade, and they're offering a prize, a PS5, if you get 600,000 tickets. So the Sonic family's like, we got to get it. And Robotnik and Sleet and Dingo also want it. And also, the guy who's working the desk and collecting tickets, and his brother at home, who he's like, bring me my katana, little bro. There's these hedgehogs are trying to get our PS5. They said if nobody gets the tickets, I can keep it. But then also they have their little sister, who is the Tooth Fairy Girl, who got beat up at Halloween 2017. She's there, and she's using some kind of cheating device to like cheat more tickets out of the machines. And basically what happens is Bartleby descends from his throne or whatever, and is like, uses his incredible powers to just win infinite tickets. Wins exactly 600,000 tickets. Nice. But there's a bit here where Sleet and Dingo, Robotnik tells them to go get the tickets, and Dingo wins like 6 tickets, because he's an idiot. But he's like, I didn't give you the tickets. I spent them on this friendship bracelet. And he gives Sleet a friendship bracelet.
Aww.
Yeah.
Origin Sleet?
Yeah, Origin Sleet and Dingo. This is, I mentioned this before. This is the one where it's the flashback to them as high schoolers on the Earth exchange program.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And, I mean, this was, I think, it's kind of implied before when you first meet them that, like, they're not gay, and Sleet, and like Dingo wants to fuck Sleet, but Sleet hates Dingo. In this one, I think it retcons that. It's like, nah, they've always just been gay. They're a gay couple.
All is right with the world.
All is right with the world.
Is Tamers getting a little more like losing some of that edge as we're getting further on? Like we're seeing less extreme, it seems.
Okay, I can kind of like. Old Tamers, Bartleby is just a rapist.
Yeah.
New one is like he's mean and he's evil and he shoots people and it's funny. But he's like, he does seem to genuinely like love or have affection for Sonic. Like they do have like a sweet romance and like
reverse polymerization.
it is kind of reverse. They do kind of like Mindy. Mindy used to be like huge balloons. She unflanderizes herself and just gradually becomes normal.
I was also very interested in Sonic Graduates Kindergarten. Is that the one where we learn about the true meeting with Bartleby?
Okay. No, the true meeting with I told you the true meeting with Bartleby. It's the one where he steals the pencil and he punches his teeth out. But Graduates Kindergarten is interesting because it's revealed in this one. Actually, in this one, it's revealed that Bartleby couldn't graduate kindergarten because his dad wouldn't sign the permission slip because his dad was on a business trip. So Bartleby had to pull out a gun and shoot another kid at kindergarten graduation, and also his mom because she tried to pull the gun to defend him, and he stole that kid's graduation slip and got his diploma instead. And also there's another one here. I think it's in Sonic Goes to Uncle Chuck's for the 4th of July. There's another flashback. Oh, no. It's Sonic Underground, the best sleepover ever. That's the introduction of Bobby Moonbeam and his partner Roderick, who come to like rob their house. These are unimportant minor characters from Sonic Underground.
But minor characters, they're better.
Okay.
firing
Yeah.
range from every adult in the series.
They are of age, I think. I mean, they're aliens, so who knows? But in that episode, there's a flashback. Bartleby is sad, and he's like reflecting on, no one understands me. It's so hard to be rich. And he remembers being a sad kindergartner who pulled out a gun and went on a preschool shooting. And then in a flashback, Sleet is watching TV as a younger version of himself, and he sees a news story on TV that's like, a judge has ruled that Bartleby Montclair's shooting of the school was completely justified.
Justice prevails.
Also, Drake Bell shows up in that one. Drake Bell shows up a lot.
You mentioned it previously.
Yeah, he come every once in a while.
I was like, Drake Bell's a great singer.
Yeah, Mindy loves Drake Bell. Flora loves Drake Bell. Some characters just love Drake Bell even when they have absolutely nothing in common. Did I already go?
So now so we were just giving like little, like, what's this one? What's this one?
I forgot about. I forgot about Sonic meets his father. There's just a sequence in there. There's a flashback to, I think it's Sonic meets his father.
Finds his father?
Yeah, finds his father. Okay. There's a flashback to. It's a first person flashback from the view of Sonic's dad meeting Kevin the Hedgehog for the first time. And like Alina's over here saying like, don't stare at my dad's huge ass. He'll think you're gay and he'll beat you up. And Chuck is like, I know it'll be hard because our dad's ass is so big, but just don't look at it. And Kevin the Hedgehog comes up and he's got beer in his hand. He's like, oh, you want to date my daughter? Oh, you look like a pussy. Well, actually, I really like your shirt. And the camera pans down and you're wearing a Hatsune Miku shirt. And it's like, you've actually got great taste in Vocaloids. I actually think you seem pretty cool. Wait a second, I dropped something. And then he bends down and his butt is in your face. He's like, just don't look. Just 3 more seconds, it'll be over soon. It's like, are you looking at my butt? I'm gonna kill you. And the first person sequence of him beating you up.
Oh, man.
And that was how Sonic the Hedgehog was born. Okay. I just want to say the Polar Express. In the Polar Express, there's kind of like an anime scene. There's like, they give them the Polar Express, but it turns out it's just taking them to like a coal mine to be child slaves. So Knuckles does like there's like, I think he traced frames or something. He animates Knuckles like punching through the ground, punching up from the train tracks and doing like a big anime energy punch to like stop the train in its tracks. Ooh. There's actual effort. Cool. It actually looks a little bit good. It's shocking. Yeah.
Is Sonic Duels Yu-Gi-Moto any worth mentioning?
No.
Just more Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think the full title of that is Sonic the Hedgehog Duels Yu-Gi-Moto to become the king of games. I think it's just because there's been a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh episodes. Right. Like Sonic has won, and Yugi's like, oh, he thinks he's good. I'll fight him. He goes and there's a double battle with Tristan and Yugi against Sonic and Manic. Yugi wins, but then Bartleby shows up and pulls Exodia and beats.
Of course.
Yeah, so then they give Sonic the trophy because Bartleby said to.
Very kind of him.
Yeah, yeah.
To his main bitch.
That's all that really happens. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Over all these years, have we noticed any like clear technological software advancements?
In Polar Express, Tamers? It's like clearly that scene where he punches the train is like a big step up, and like there's actual like effects going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like After Effects. Or,
I don't know what he uses, but
shading in the later episodes, like from what I'm seeing here, right?
Is
there some shading?
I think I put the shot of the Polar Express in here when he's about to do the punch.
2021.
Yeah, this one right here. You can kind of see there's like a crackling energy effect going around his fist, and
no, they have visual effects now.
There's some. Yeah.
Leveling up.
At this point, I feel like he's definitely leveling up. I mean, also just the art has gotten like smoother and more purposeful, and like the faces are more expressive year after year.
Yeah, that one of Sonya actually is not bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like sometimes they look really cute. Yeah. Even though like they're just like a perfect circle. Someone, Tamers or whoever draws those frames, sometimes like he makes it work. Like he knows what he's doing. Stop a shoplifter at Walmart. This is Farrell. This is the guy who raised Manic. Manic's like adopted dad shows up again. There's also another episode where Sonic's adopted parents, the one that he was left with by Queen Alina, and then like Robotnik burned their house down. They show up and try to adopt him again. Honestly, that one doesn't really go anywhere. It's probably not even worth mentioning. Okay, Light kills the Queen before 9/11. This one is, I think this is because the Queen of England died in real life. Light Yagami.
22, yeah.
Light Yagami is writing names in his death note, and Ryuk is like, why'd you just kill the Queen of England? He's like, well, I'm killing world leaders that don't love Sonic Underground. And he's like, well, why did you just kill, I don't remember his name, but the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Then? And he's like, well, that was just
Kazuki Takahashi.
Yeah, why'd you, Hitagashi?
Kazuki Takahashi.
Why'd you just kill Takahashi again? Well, that was just a typo. So there's...
Excuse me, you guys. It's very clear in the death note. You have to be thinking of the person when you write their name, so we know that that's bullshit. Nice try, Lights.
This one is just Light Yagami is like, he's on the side of Sonic Underground. He wants to help. L wants to find Light, so L goes with the New Boys, who at some point they stop calling themselves the New Boys and they become the anti-Sonic Underground fan club. Okay. But like tomato. Yeah. So Light and L are now on two sides of the modern Sonic versus Sonic Underground war. This continues. I forgot there was a twist in Sonic Meets Bartleby's parents. When he eats the apple and takes a shit, and everyone in the world's memories of the alternate timeline are turned. They all remember the boys. And when they do that, everyone remembers, actually, the Pumpkin Man has been Mr. Johnson in disguise this whole time. And the reason he got...
Mr. Johnson's on that board twice.
He is on that board twice.
So it's not to reveal.
The reason he got that job as the Pumpkin Man was so that he could beat the shit out of Uncle Chuck and drag him back to the beginning of the maze. There were too many people around to kill him like he wanted to, but at least he got to beat him up in that corn maze. Oh, I didn't mention Uncle Chuck's voice. Like, his text-to-speech, it's like a Spanish language one. So it interprets the words as though it's like, you can kind of make out what he's saying, but he's trying to speak Spanish, so it's really hard to understand. So Uncle Chuck gets text subtitles, even though he's speaking English. But like every time he says the word do, the parser interprets it as Domingo. So like just for example, it's really hard to understand him. And Pumpkin Man's text to speech is like a guy screaming. So it's like he's yelling everything he says. But he's just he's punished Mr. Johnson.
Right.
So yeah, that's Light kills. Oh, Manic's voice actor get kidnapped. This is a guy, Ty Lee Ross. Now, this is not the guy who voiced. Obviously, everyone knows Jaleel White voiced all three of the Hedgehog siblings. Right. And God, his voice for Sonya is so bad. Like, it's so clearly just a guy doing a falsetto. Crazy. It's awful. I can't stand it. I watched 3 episodes of the show, and Sonya's voice, I just couldn't get over it.
That's crazy. But you watched all of Tamers 12345.
Yeah, and I loved it, and it was no problem. No, you stop hearing the text to speech, and it's fine. Okay. But why did I bring that up? The pumpkin.
You were saying that the voice actor.
Oh, the Ty Lee Ross. Ty Lee Ross gets kid. Yeah, he's not his voice actor, but he's his voice actor like for songs. You know, shows will have different voice actors for the musical bits. I mean, this is the New Boys kidnap Ty Lee Ross. They hold him hostage. Okay. There's a kid with like a red cone for a head, and he's the guy that the New Boys are holding Ty Lee captive with. And this guy appeared in, oh my God, what episode was it? There was like a previous episode, there was a basketball game, and like they like farted the head off of one of the opposing guardsmen, but the surviving one was the same red kid with a red cone on his head, and now he's working for the New Boys. Man, I feel like I've definitely missed some details here. There's some like
as you do as
because I forgot to mention that kid with the cone head, and now I don't even remember what episode he was from. But it's okay. We move. Bartleby takes Sonic the Hedgehog to a hot spring. Okay, this one I've skipped over. I want to talk about the Oracle. The Oracle's 87th birthday, and Sonic fist fights the Oracle. And also, I think there's another one that Sonic gets stuck in a hole. Yeah, Sonic gets stuck in a hole because he's fat, is the full title of that one.
I'm glad we're getting to this one. This is interesting.
All of these are they're about the Oracle of Delphius. Oracle of Delphius' thing is like everybody's a pedophile in this world, but Oracle of Delphius is like a real pedophile. Like his one thing is he wants to go to the local elementary school and have sex with those children. So that's his whole thing. But they go to his birthday party, he tries to molest Sonic when he gets stuck in the hole because he's stuck in a fence. They have to go to his birthday party anyway. But then he fist fights the Oracle. He goes to Egypt to use like Egypt magic to take over the world, and they go there and they have a big battle, and Knuckles, Athair is there, the wizard, and Bartleby's there, and Athair says, Bartleby, my son Knuckles, my great-grandson Knuckles, he doesn't have the potential to wield my echidna magic, I'm giving it to you. And he throws him his wand, and Bartleby does a magic transformation and gets like it's like a military, he changes to like a military uniform, and then he uses his power it's Knuckles. Knuckles appears and he does like a cool anime kick. Knuckles gets all the cool anime moments. He does this crazy anime kick and there's like an After Effects like shatter image across the screen and he breaks the Oracle's orb and the Oracle is defeated. And then after the battle, Bartleby says, Athair, I didn't actually even use your echidna magic. I just did that myself. Your Knuckles is worthy. You should let Knuckles be your successor, but don't force your magic on him because your magic is green and it looks like stinky farts. So let's let him come into his own as a wizard or an echidna heir or whatever. All right. In Sonic brings his sugar baby to a hot spring vacation. They go to Japan because Bartleby has just bought part of Japan, and he's like, I got to bring my bitch on a vacation, as you do. And there's a kung fu fight. Some ninjas attack him, and he fights back. And they're like, Bartleby, you're a worthy opponent. So I'm giving you this ancient scroll. When the sun turns red and the time and all hope seems lost, you'll know that the time is right to open it. Okay. So next after that is World War III. This is basically the end of the prophecy arc.
Okay, all right.
And
Sonic Underground, the movie. How long is this episode?
This one's another hour plus.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the next installment.
It's
after like the battle.
It's basically the follow-up to Battle with the Boys. Yeah. What year are we in? Are we in 2023? We're in 2023. Let me find my notes here because his output's insane. Like he comes out with these every like 2 weeks, and they're like 20 minutes long at least.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and he's just a machine.
Is it just? This is what it looks like to like unleash a man's autism on like one specific hyperfixation, and like all he does every day is like work on this.
I don't know if we like know for a fact that he's autistic. I think everyone just assumes it, and like you can see why. You can see why, but
cartoons and anime.
Yeah. But like who knows? But yeah. Sonya gets suspended. Robotnik is here we go. World War III. Oh, right. It's Light and L. The Light and L is basically... Light is the new Obi-Wan. He shows up to the Sonic...
Light Yagami.
Light for Yagami.
Yeah, Light Yagami.
He's like a...
I think you were in the...
Obi-Wan. Like, he's the good guy.
Yeah, I think...
Because he likes Sonic.
Yeah, like he is in Death Note. He's the good guy.
Right. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah. He's
the god of the
he likes Sonic Underground, so he's good. And L is working with the anti-Sonic Underground fan club, so he's bad.
I'd get it done.
As we've established, that's the only moral axis to balance.
So Light Yagami shows up and he's like, "Listen, everyone got their memories back. You know about the boys. There's new boys. They're coming. They're gonna get you. We got to go to what's the Scary Godmother world? Bartleby, you put a tracking device in that tomato that you threw at Jimmy on the Dr. Phil show. We gotta track him through a portal to the Scary Godmother universe. We gotta go find him. We gotta take him hostage. We gotta get him to tell us the names of the men in the Anti-Sonic Underground fan club so I can write them in my Death Note and kill them." Actually, I think this happened previously and I missed it. There was some other episode. At the end, there's a cut to the new boys. They're talking to, I think it's Lex Luthor, who is also, I should mention, Alina's old boss from Queen Alina Gets Fired on Christmas. First he fires them, and then he's talking, and I think he's also the leader of the Yakuza, which I guess would be the same organization that is keeping Knuckles' parents hostage. He's like, Anti-Sonic Underground fan club, I can supply you with a Yakuza army to defeat Sonic Underground, but I want to be the leader. And Randy is like, no. And he farts so hard that he blasts Lex Luthor and the ninjas out the window. No, I'm staying leader. But then Robert the pirate shows up mysteriously and stabs Randy in the back and is like, no, I'm the new leader of the new boys. Randy, this guy, he's out of jail for mysterious reasons. I didn't mention it, but Athair escaped from jail remember Professor Magicorp had them both kidnapped. Athair escaped in Sonic and someone do the bake-off. There's one about a bake-off here. Let me know if you
work at a bakery?
Not work at a bakery.
Oh, okay.
Compete in a bake-off. In that one, Athair breaks out of jail so that he can go and like submit his pie with Knuckles to be judged in the bake-off.
Goes to the bake sale.
Not goes to the bake sale.
Bakes, beat by a cake.
No.
No, okay.
A lot of baking.
Not goes to the bake sale to buy a cake, and it's not Chuck throws down at the cook-off.
What a bakery
goes to the bake sale.
It's not goes to the bake sale. Here, Sonic enters a bake-off. Sonic enters a bake-off.
That was right in front of us.
This one ends with a fight. Professor Majorcord comes to because the Yakuza say we need to get a kid you need to get a Thayer back. So he goes to the bake-off and attacks them. And Bartleby summons from his orbital satellite. He summons the Gauntlet of Dresden, and it descends from the heavens. And everyone in the world sees this golden meteor shoot down from the sky. Oh, and then he just he just walks over and goes Duke, and he just falls over. And that's how he defeats Professor Majorcord.
Right.
Yeah.
He probably didn't even need the gauntlet to do that. This is Bartleby.
I think he could have just punched him, most likely. But so Professor Major, they're out of jail. So Robert here, he's taken over the New Boys. He has a grudge against Bartleby because he didn't put him on the $1 trillion bill. And also he didn't come looking for him, even though he's been in jail for months. And also, Thayer just forgets to tell anyone that he was in jail this whole time. Everyone thinks he was in the hospital after that ninja attack that blew his house up. But the Bake Off was more important. He didn't think to mention it.
We're still in World War III, I think.
Oh, and then in that same scene, the reason I mentioned it is because they asked the Heart guy. They're like, Heart guy, hey, you never even told us your name. And he's like, oh, I'm Drake Bell. And then he drops dead because Light Yagami had them chipped. And he was like, it was a trick to get him to tell him my name. So now, and that's what we got to go get Jimmy to tell us the names of the other boys. So they go to Scary Godmother World. There's a gunfight in the street. But the boys end up kidnapping Light before they get Jimmy, but then before we can tell them their names, the boys kidnap Light, and then Rooney Doodle calls Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's like, Sonic, it's going down in the Big Lots parking lot. this tomorrow. And we're gonna have the battle against the New Boys. And Sonic says, well, my mom won't let me walk that far on a weekday. Can we do it on Saturday instead? And Rooney says, well, I really wanted to do it tomorrow because then Bartleby wouldn't be there. But I guess Saturday's fine. But just make sure not to bring Bartleby because that would be cheating.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just hearing about the show, sometimes it reminds me of a twisted version of Ed, Ed and Eddie, where the
I can see
children
that.
run.
Yeah, they have a scheme
and all this insane shit.
Yeah.
And
There's
no adults really.
Yeah, I mean, it is about kids doing stuff in their neighborhood. Yeah, just messing around on Halloween. Yeah, there's similar, just messing around on the cul-de-sac or on the random suburban American street.
A similar mean-spirited attitude between the both of them.
It's definitely mean-spirited.
Kids, perhaps.
Yeah,
but
I think so. Yeah, I guess I see
For
it.
example, all the battles take place in parking lots.
Can I ask about one provocative title, which is Sonic Experiences a Death on Xmas?
Oh,
How
yeah,
was that?
that's a Christmas special where Bartleby builds a train through Jared's pa's farm, and long story short, he runs over Jared's pa and kills him.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's the tragic death they experience on Christmas. Actually, he stays dead, and that actually comes back in Halloween Heroes, 20 whatever. It's the next Halloween special. So it's World War III. It's going down to the Big Lots parking lot. In the 3 days that follow, World War III breaks out over the entire world. It's trench warfare in every nation. They're wearing helmets and using bayonets and yeah.
World War III is like World War I.
Yeah, World War III is just no.
Wait, but what caused that to happen though?
It's the Anti-Sonic Underground fan club has challenged the Sonic Underground to a battle in the Big Lots parking lot. So modern Sonic fans and Sonic Underground fans have broken into open warfare.
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
So okay. I mean, there's a lot of this is when they.
That's another big movie where a lot of random characters will show up as cameos, etc.
And I'm not going to tell you everyone, but this is when they go and Yugi Moto, who has made appearances before, when he dueled against Sonic, they go and they get him
and Peter show up.
Edmund and Peter from the Bartleby Bitch in the Wardrobe show up to aid them in their battle.
Sort of a culmination event for the series.
Basically, everyone you've seen in a long time shows up, and Professor Majorcord shows up again to assist the battle.
There's a cameo, a highlight reel of here, you see this character?
Michael Jackson is there. He showed up in the Polar Express to sing a song. The two robot kids from Nier Automata were in. They were in another episode. Right. I don't remember what episode. They appeared in a previous episode.
I saw their picture.
Jared Leto as Michael Morbius. I don't think he's been mentioned before ever.
Nice, man.
Corbin time.
Okay, so you get the idea. It's just like a big
Crossover special.
It's a big crossover special with everyone you've ever seen before. But like the thing about it is that the new boys are completely outnumbered. It's like 3-1 in favor. Like they don't stand a chance. You see the two crowds going, and like they're not even at all. So they get the floor completely wiped. Robbie Rotten gets like, Zatch Bell and Keo show up. There's been some side episodes about Zatch Bell. There were a couple videos. He made Zatch Bell episode 1 and Zatch Bell episode 2, and then another video saying Zatch Bell episode 3 is canceled because you don't care. But
Which is like the original sin, like to not care about Zatch Bell.
I loved Zatch Bell.
Zatch Bell is one of the best shows in the world.
You know, there's a sequel running right now, a new manga.
Really?
Yes.
What the hell?
It's like a sequel. They're doing it again.
Seeing Zatch Bell in Tamers, I was like, I should go and finish Zatch Bell. I never saw the end
I
of
read
that
the
show.
end of the manga.
Yeah.
The end of the manga is super cool.
Really?
I think you'd like it.
And the manga is fucking amazing.
That's
That's what I always hear.
okay.
The
That's going.
final full Gore battle is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
God.
Okay, I think I have to read that. That's going on my list. Maybe after I catch up with Hunter x Hunter, Hunter, and then I think there's another one that's okay. Zatch Bell's got to go on there. Okay, that's not important. So whatever. They lose. The new boys lose. A bunch of them die. But then Madara Uchiha shows up at the end, and he's like, "Well, okay, they paid me to be their ringer. They paid me in burritos. He uses Susanoo and blocks. It's a battle between Bartleby. Bartleby's fighting him, but like, of course, it's like for a second, it's like, oh, nothing can beat Susanoo, but like, no, but then, but he does a jutsu. He summons a meteor. Another meteor is falling. This time, Tamers shows up again and is like, okay. Before I had the white blade, now I've got a new blade, a blue sword, the blue blade of the blue blur. And Bartleby's like, here you go, Tamers, and he throws him his golden sword. So Tamers combines the blue sword of the blue blur with the golden blade of the House Dresden, and he combines the two into the blue and gold Bardonic blade. Whoa. And then he destroys the meteor. And the day, I forgot when he shows up, he's like, hey guys, what's going on here? And Sonya's like, Tamers, a giant meteor is falling on the city. It's gonna kill us all. And he's like, shut up, you're a woman. Sonic, what's going on here? And Sonic says the exact same thing. And he's like, oh, no problem. And then he does the Bardonic blade. And then he saves the city. And then everyone is like, you did it, Tamers. You saved the day. And Bartleby's like, if you didn't show up, I would have just done it. So that's
beautiful. That's great.
A bunch of people die. Michael Jackson is arrested at the Neverland Ranch.
In 2023.
In 2023. Okay, Dr. Robotnik has had enough. I just want to talk about this one because this is another Sleet and Dingo episode. This is Sleet and Dingo decide that they have had enough. They've had enough. They don't want to be evil anymore. They want to be good. They're quitting working for Robotnik because he doesn't pay them and he sucks anyway. So they take all their stuff. They like grab all their items and they run out. And Dingo, he finds a guitar. I haven't really talked that much about Sleet and Dingo, but they're like my favorite. I think they're so charming. When Dingo finds like a broken guitar on the side of the road and he takes it and he starts playing it on a bench, he plays a sad song about how hard it is to be a gay cowboy. And he's like, Sleet's like, remember back when we were younger and you traded your Beanie Baby collection for a guitar? Because I think in Sleet and Dingo Origins, he brings Sleet to his house and he's like, check out my Beanie Baby collection. So I guess he knows how to play the guitar because of that. So they try to hide out in the hedgehog house. Like, we swear we're trying to be good, not evil. So they go there to hide out from Robotnik, but Robotnik comes and is like, we want him back. Come back and work for me. They have a fight. The hedgehogs don't really believe that Sleet and Dingo are going to be good now. And Sleet is like, maybe I should steal Queen Alina's royal magic scepter. It's like sitting on the ground covered in tampons or something. Like, maybe I should just steal it and get that power. But he like resists the urge. But then Robotnik shows up. He shoots Michael Jackson. I think Thriller plays at this time, or maybe Smooth Criminal. Some classic tune. They have a battle, and then basically Robotnik goes ballistic, and he shoots Sleet. and Sleet is like dead, and Athair is like, well, they're gay anyway, and I'm religious. Athair is like deeply religious, and he goes on like gay people are evil, like evangelical screed, and Alina is just like. Actually, I think that was like a Thanksgiving special he did that in, but he's homophobic is the point. So Sleet gets shot right in front of him, and he's like, well, they were gay anyway, and he goes and he pisses on him while Dingo is cradling him in his arms, like Sleet, wake up, I can't live without you. However, it turns out the friendship bracelet that he won at the PS5 episode, you saw him take it off the table with him. It blocked the bullet. It blocked his bullet. Sleet is back. He says, he grabs the royal scepter and he channels all his power. And he's like, and the Sonic kids are like, Mommy, the magic scepter is always so weak when you use it. Why is it so powerful when Sleet uses it? And she says, well, it's powered by your emotions, and I've been emotionally dead for 15 years. And they say, but we're 15 years old. So he channels his love for Dingo. And also, I think Sonic. Sonic has been, because ever since he saw Knuckles at the Polar Express. No, it was when he saw Knuckles kick the orb at the Oracle of Delphius and defeat the Oracle of Delphius in Egypt. He told Bartleby, like, I'm falling behind Knuckles. I used to be the hero of Mobius. Now I'm weak. So Sonic also like reaches and I'm going to channel my energy in there too. And they defeat Robotnik. And there's no punchline to this. It's just like a cool anime moment. And there's a little bit more to the Sonic like falling behind Knuckles. I think that gets referenced again. Anyway, I just wanted to mention the friendship bracelet thing.
That's Kino.
That's awesome.
It was so awesome. I love Dingo. Dingo, when he's like a kid, when he's a teenager, he was like an emo skater kid, basically. It's too cool. He was one of the cool kids until he started hanging out with Dingo, who's like special ed, and then everyone was like, "You're just another alien, Get out of Earth, loser. We thought you were cool, nah." Okay, so I have this one highlighted here. The full title of this is like Chuck throws down at the chili cook-off. Sonic Underground, Uncle Chuck throws down at the chili cook-off while naked. That's not even a thing that happens in the episode. I don't know why it's called that.
Purely clickbait. Chuck fans.
This is only relevant to the prophecy because it's the last appearance of Randy and Mr. Johnson, and it's basically just they meet at the chili cook-off. They all like, we have to enter in teams of 3. We don't have partners. I guess we have to team up to make chili for the chili cook-off. And like, they become friends and now they make chili together.
Great.
That's, so like, all grudges are forgotten. Okay. I mean, I think that's the last.
That is the last one you've highlighted.
That's the last prophecy one, but Sonya gets into a fight at school and gets suspended. Sonya, not Sonic.
Sorry, okay.
This one, yeah, I know. I mean, they're so easy to confuse. So this is like, it's like a school drama about like, previously in Knuckles Sonic and Bartleby go to the movies to see Megan. Knuckles is there. His grandpa. Yeah.
I don't see it. Whatever. I trust you that that's a real episode.
Yeah, I believe it.
All right, whatever. Yeah, in Sonic, they go to the movies to see Megan. Knuckles is there because his dad won't let him see Megan, or Athair won't let him see Megan. Athair wants to see Avatar: The Way of the Water because they're like indigenous or something, and Athair like puts on like an offensive Indian stereotype and goes and like shoots bows and arrows around the theater.
Wait, he's making fun of who by doing that? Or
Indian.
He is
Native
like
American.
Native American or something.
Yeah. No, he's an echidna, which are like
right.
Sometimes in the games are sort of portrayed as like an ancient Incan or like Mexican people.
Okay.
I mean, mostly they're just like black. Like the echidnas are like 90% of the time they're black. But he's here to see Avatar: Way of Water because I don't know, for some reason.
I get you saying that they're black, but like I feel like they're sort of like more Polynesian.
In Tamers,
it varies.
In Tamers, about 3/4 of the time they're black, specifically Jamaican. Sometimes people call him a Jamaican guy.
And that's what I go. That's the real lore, the Tamers stuff.
Right.
None of this modern shit.
No, you're right. In line at the concession stand, Flora stands next to Knuckles, and just starts babbling at him. And is like, he's just thinking to himself, like, God, I have to take a shit. Why is she talking to me? And why won't she leave me alone? If you listen to what she's saying, she's babbling about, like, the difficulties of living with autism and, like, how like, people don't understand her and how it gives her social anxiety and whatever. And Sonya sees this from afar and is like, is she hitting on Knuckles? Like, is Knuckles popular? Like, am I a little bit jealous to see this? She pulls out a gun, but then, like, she puts it away really quick, like, when Flora leaves. But Knuckles is like, I saw that gun, and he tries to like get it off her, but they shoot the popcorn machine, and I think he beats her up for that.
Okay.
But she still likes him.
Wow.
You know how it is. Anyway, that's set up for this episode of the Sonya gets in a fight. Flora, like, she accidentally ends up with Manic's phone. But then she deliberately decides to go through it, and she starts, like, looking at messages, and she's deleting pictures of Sonya. And Sonya catches her doing this, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And they just have this one's drawn like it's the art quality is really high in this one. It looks like it's like a style parody of, like, a very dramatic, like, high school. It's a high school drama. So they get in a fight, and they like beat each other up in the hall, and they get suspended, and basically, everyone congratulates Sonya for this. Like, you did the right thing. What she was doing was fucked up. Knuckles, her mom is like, and Chuck are like, hell yeah, our girl punched someone. That's awesome. I haven't mentioned this. Alina kind of wants to fuck Sonya. This comes up like 3 or 4 times. She, like, stares at Sonya's ass and, like, is like, Every so often, characters will just get a close-up of, like, they're blushing and, like, they're biting their lip and they're, like, licking their lips. And this happens, basically everyone does this to everyone all the time. Like, if someone is, like, farting or doing anything related to a butt. Like, when Mandy pulled the shotgun out of her butt, Flora is right next to her and she's like, So,
Wait,
like,
but Alina, isn't that her own daughter?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
But, like, some characters do it, like, more often in certain situations, and Alina does it often enough to Sonya that it's, like, a pattern that you can't ignore. Actually, later, there's a scene, I forget what episode it's in, it doesn't matter. All the characters are, like, it's a Christmas special. It's when she's...
Christmas Carol, perhaps?
No, it's not that one. You know what? It doesn't matter. But there's a sequence of, like, everyone shows their phone, like, they're opening up their phone, and it shows their lock screen, and it's, like... Sleet has Dingo on there because they're in a gay couple, and, like, Cyrus has Trevor, and
Does Alina have Sonya?
yeah, Alina has Sonya is the joke here. But anyway, yeah, Alina wants to fuck Sonya. It's it's normal, it's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, Alina is like, yeah, baby girl, my baby girl, she did it. I'm proud of her for beating up another kid. She brings, like, balloons. She's like, you did it. I'm gonna pick you up from school. But then Knuckles comes and, like, they have a kiss. He and Sonya have, like, a kiss on the bench because they're like, she realizes, me being jealous of Flora made you realize I like you. And he's like, whatever. And they have a kiss and it's romantic. That's the point about this one is that it's, like, big jump in quality. This one's like they really got an artist that knew what they were doing, or he just tried really hard or something. That's the first episode I feel it's like the Polar Express had, like, an anime moments. The one where Sleet uses the magic against Robotnik has an anime moment. Like, a lot of this one feels like he was just trying to make an anime.
It becomes less gag oriented and becomes more of, like, character interpersonal drama.
I mean, there's still fart jokes.
Oh, sure.
And also, it doesn't really take the status quo changes that seriously. But, like, Manic and Sonya and Knuckles are dating after this. This is a status quo change, but
what about Bartleby and Sonic playing Minecraft?
That one. I mean, Bartleby has his top scientists create, like, a new and more powerful version of, like, Minecraft VR, and they go in the game for a date. And they get attacked by some, oh my god, there's such a good scene in this one. There's these 2 zombies that are trying to, like, kill Manic and Knuckles that are mining for diamonds. And they're on, like, a long, thin bridge over a pool of lava. And this zombie is like, I'm gonna rape you, And Knuckles, like, no, he hits him, and the zombie is clinging to the side of the bridge, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it, I wasn't really gonna do anything, I swear, I was just joking. And Manic feels bad, and Knuckles is like, what are you doing? He was gonna rape you, he was gonna kill you, and he's like, no, but, like, I can't, but he's helpless. Like, I have to help him. Like, it would be evil, right? Like, if I kill this guy now, I'd be evil. I'd be no worse than, I'd be no better than Robotnik. And Knuckles is like, no, that's stupid. And Manic's like, look, I'll prove it. And he pulls out his phone and he calls up Robotnik and he says, Robotnik, listen, if someone was trying to rape you, but then you knocked them off a bridge and you had to pull them up because they were begging for mercy, would you do it? He thinks he's going to say like, no, I'd let him fall. That's evil to do. And he's like, wait, you said he was trying to rape you? Okay, well then I would help him because I'm evil and he's evil, and by saving him, I would be propagating more evil in the world.
Right.
So, and I like evil. Damn. So I would say I was, and Manic's just like, he like doesn't know either. And Robotnik's like, listen, Manic, in whatever situation you're in, I hope you make a decision that you're comfortable with. Were you gonna ask a question?
Oh, they have like VR goggles on.
They're in like a pod that puts
like
them in.
But he's like able to call Robotnik.
Yeah, he has his phone in his pocket.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't think of that. God, that's kind of the end of
He doesn't after
the plot.
World War III. He doesn't have a very major moment.
No, after World War III, it's just
he just kind of keeps being more episodic until he latches onto My Little Pony. And metatextually, it gets really popular, so he kind of drops all this stuff.
That's right. He does a couple. I should have put Peter Pan. This one just called Peter Pan. This one should be read because this is also just like a parody.
When it says the movie, a lot of these, does that imply it's at least an hour?
No, there's no real pattern.
There's no name.
I think more often than not, the ones called Sonic the Hedgehog the movie or Sonic Underground the movie tend to be longer, but not always.
Yeah.
Or ones that are called the one that was High School Musical parentheses full movie. I mean, that one, I think it's just called that to get clicks.
Sure.
That one's kind of long, but it's not one of the longest. All right, I think I want to talk about Sonia because there's more Sonia and Knuckles drama. Mindy. Mindy? There's one on here. It's later. It's called Mindy House Sits for Bartleby and Loses Everything. In this one, Bartleby. This is the one where he's like, I have to go talk to aliens to get alien real estate, and he leaves Mindy house sitting his house, and Mindy decides she's going to prove. She's going to lie to everyone and say this is her house to impress them. But then, the ruse is uncovered, and Bartleby comes back and is like, I'm very disappointed in you, Mindy. This was a test because if I marry my bitch and you marry his brother, we'll be family. And this was a test for you and you failed. So I'm buying your house and I'm bulldozing it. A thing I didn't mention about Flora. Flora, in her first appearance, she's not like this, but then she kind of gets flanderized. She's not just a good girl who doesn't have premarital sex. She's deeply religious. She's kind of homophobic. In the Great Easter Egg Hunt, she's at the church.
Flora is the one with the piercing green eye. Okay,
that's the one. Also, when they're talking about their mom that Mandy murdered, she says Mandy, our mom's dream was to own a bakery. So I'm going to carry on her dream and own a bakery. So quietly in the background, Mandy has had a bakery. The one where Sonic and Bartleby work at a bakery. That's her bakery that they're helping her at. So in this episode, because their house gets totaled, they go to the bank and they find out that Flora has been taking out loans secretly to fund her failing bakery business. So they put the kibosh on that. So Mindy and Mandy and Mark are homeless, and also Flora loses her bakery. And Flora kind of goes rogue and is I'm fucking done with everything, and teleports away. And in her next appearance after this, Mindy gets on the bus, and she's wearing a potato sack. So she's poor now. And also Mindy, the next time we see Flora, it's in Sonic and Bartleby go to Goodwill. Yeah, Sonic goes to Goodwill. But she's not in the Goodwill. She's outside the Goodwill selling Girl Scout cookies off of a cardboard box. And she's like, yep, this is my new and improved bakery. But then when Sonia comes by, she is staring into her eyes creepily and is doing some sort of hypnosis thing on her. And then Alina's like, Sonia, get out of here. What are you doing? And Flora says, I've always said that if I was going to hypnotize someone, I would do it a little bit at a time, so nobody ever noticed a sudden behavior change. And then Alina's like, okay, now I know you did something. And then she bends her over her knee and says, I'm gonna spank you like the bad girl you are. And she says, no, I haven't been a bad girl. She's like, we'll see what tune you sing. And then the whole episode, he just starts spanking her brutally. They both make horny, tongue out, faces. And then the whole episode happens, and then they're like, hey, where's Alina? Or where's Mom? And it is, she's been just spanking her the whole time. Yeah, outside the Goodwill. So I love that episode.
What a great set.
Towards the end, he's still got it.
Sonic the Pizza Hut Brawl in this one. This one's just funny because in Sonic Underground, Sonic has super speed and Sonya has super strength and Manic has nothing. But like the Oracle says, you have a super secret talent, you just haven't found it yet. But then the show ended and he never got it. So Manic is useless. But in this one, Avatar from Airbender shows up and tells him that actually he's an Earthbender, and he brings him to Ba Sing Se, and he trains him in Earthbending. But then after 8 months, he's like, nah, I kind of assumed you must have some sort of talent, but I guess you don't. So get out. But then actually in that moment, he does figure out how to Earthbend. But then he comes home and he's like, hey guys, I learned how to Earthbend. And they're like, well, can you show us? And he's like, no, I have to be outside to do it. And they're like, well, it sounds kind of sucks then. So I don't know if he would ever Earthbend if the series continued, but theoretically he's an Earthbender now. I
just kind of peters out.
I could highlight any one of these and pick out like a great moment from them.
Right.
But like in 2024, he did the Sonic Underground X MLP Bardonic is Magic. And this is one where basically the ponies come to town and are like, Equestria is dying. Equestria is being swallowed up by a void. It's because a lack of friendship. There's not enough friendship. But a prophecy says that Bartleby and Sonic, if they have butt sex, the power of their, okay, are you seeing a theme here? The power of their love will replenish Equestria. So they bring them to Equestria.
Wait, who's topping and who's bottoming?
I think Bartleby's topping. Yeah, okay. I would think so. I mean, I don't know. So they bring him to Equestria, but Celestia is like, gross. I'm homophobic. Get out. Yeah. That's the thing in the later pony episodes. Celestia being homophobic is a thing. So she's like, no, I don't want any gay sex, even if it'll save the world. Go home. And they're like, well, I guess we're leaving. They don't want us around. But it turns out actually Celestia she just fucked up and like was just messing around while she had Twilight over for a pizza party, and she was just fucking around with evil spell books and like, oops, I was reading spells at random and I accidentally just read like a end the world spell. I just didn't want to admit it, and I'm willing to let the whole world die rather than admit that I did this. But Twilight, so that all the other ponies fight Celestia just to buy Sonic and Bartleby time to have sex in a bush. And as the whole world turns to void, and then in the one bush shielded by like a blue and yellow shield of their love, in the climactic moment, life explodes back into Equestria and the universe is saved.
Is it 45 minutes again? Or is it just an undisclosed amount of time?
No, it's not 45 minutes. I think they just have to do it.
Okay, it just has to happen.
No, I think while they're battling Celestia, trying to buy them time, they're like, look, they're having sex in the bush, and it's not saving the world. See, the prophecy was fake. And the pony's like, no, give them time. It takes like 2 minutes to have sex.
Okay.
So yeah.
And that's the episode that blows up.
That's the episode that blows up, and then it did really well. A couple months later, Tamers' Patreon exploded, and then he pivoted to pony content, and throughout the rest of 24, there were a couple more Sonic episodes, like Sonic and his family experienced the most tragic day in American history, which I've abbreviated here as 9/11, because it is an episode about them as babies being on the Twin Towers when the planes hit.
Being on the Twin Towers?
Yeah, they were in the Twin... Aline is like, I got a new job at the top of the World Trade Center.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And this came out, I assume, on 9/11?
No, actually, no, it didn't. I thought so too. These came out, more pony episodes started happening in between them, and then in 2025 it's been only pony content, which is its own separate continuity.
What was the final episode of
9/11.
It was 9/11.
The 9/11
really
episode
was the end of an era.
was the but this episode this isn't read because like all the events of this episode are at the end implied to be just Sonic like playing with his My Little Pony toys. Like none of he does then like he looks out the window and they're looking out the window, but it's sort of implied to be like he was just playing make believe. Yeah. So this is not necessarily canon, and the events of the MLP episodes of Tamers are like sort of their own thing, and they're not. Nate,
I would just love to know how they got out of that predicament on the top of the World Trade Center at 9/11. Is there any particular? How does it resolve?
Yeah, it resolves because first Chuck drops Manic out the window, but he catches his diaper on a flagpole.
Right.
The rest of them, like Chuck, like the plane hits. and the tower's collapsing, and Chuck like gets trapped under some rubble, but the ghost of his, like a vision of his favorite president, George W. Bush, appears to him and says like,
he's alive.
not his ghost, just a vision. And he just says like, take heart, do it for America. And I don't know, he gets out from under the rubble, and they have to like throw in a rope. They throw baby Sonia through like a vent to like go through a door and unlock a door from the other side. And then to save Manic from the flagpole, a guy from like Spy Kids 3D called The Guy, played by Elijah Wood, shows up, and he just flew up and saved Manic off the flagpole. And that guy actually appeared one other time in not Bartleby Bitch in the Wardrobe, but in what's the one about Wonderland, Adventures in Wonderland. He appeared in Adventures of Wonderland, which I'll mention. I need a sip of my Coke. Because in Adventures in Wonderland, I didn't make it in red because this one I think actually is canon because they do go through a magical portal to Wonderland. But when they find, like, Bartleby is dressed as a white rabbit and Sonia follows him through and is Alice in this version. But when she finally catches him and finds him and they find the Red Queen and it's Mindy, it turns out that like it actually just was a real portal to Wonderland, and the portals to Wonderland were open when Bartleby threw the lasso over the helicopter and pulled the entire galaxy. That like twisted space and opened portals to Wonderland. So I'm calling that one canon. And also the guy from Spy Kids 3D appears in that one as well. And I was like, who is this? I didn't get the reference. I guess that's pretty much the story. I mean, if there's any more episodes that you're like curious to hear about, I could talk at length about them.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily have a question about any of the Sonic Underground Tamers canon, but I am curious, does like the pony stuff, do you know if like there's a Bartleby analog in that story?
I think it's pretty much Celestia. I've only seen a couple of the pony episodes, but Celestia is basically all powerful. She is sort of pervertedly attracted to Twilight's not her bitch. Twilight's not her bitch, but Celestia is like weirdly obsessed with Twilight and like wants to see her butt and like wants to see her poop in a porta potty and puts a camera in the porta potty to film her pooping in it and stuff like that. So she's not exactly like Bartleby, but she's somewhat similar in some ways.
Who's the silly pony with the red hair on the left there?
Oh, that's he's from an episode.
Is he an OC, I guess?
I don't know. I didn't watch My Little Pony after like season 5. Yeah. So
it is interesting that Tamers picks up particularly the fourth season, the popular Friendship is Magic, years after it concluded. Right?
I think that
like 2018.
I think G4 was just different. G4 just hit different, and it's had staying power.
But it's just very interesting. In World War II. Like it really feels like it was like an end of a thing. A lot of them moved on.
Yeah.
And now it's G5's been going on for however many years.
Nobody cares.
Well, a couple of the G5 characters do appear in some of the animations, but yeah, like G4, like when the average person thinks about My Little Pony, I think they think of Gen 4 now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, that's when he did a My Little Pony crossover.
All that time, like it had its whole era, like heyday, 2011 all the way through while he was doing this,
and yet
any mention at all.
Like the show's over and the fandom is like kind of dead, more or less, and yet by pivoting into pony content, I think
Sonic Underground was over when he started
right,
so
and that took off.
That was interesting because it was incredibly niche.
And
it didn't have like a big fandom.
I think there's something about because like when he does Tamers' interest in anime and like the AMVs and the anime OPs that he like does the draw overs of, and just like the sort of like earnest melodrama of it, I think is something the My Little Pony fandom has sort of been like absorbed into like furrydom.
Yeah.
I think there's something about just like real, just like heart on sleeve, like naked, sophomoric earnestness and emotion that is like, when Tamers wants to be dramatic and he just goes like, he has like the cherry blossoms falling when like Sonia and Knuckles are kissing on the bench or whatever. He has the even in a stupid situation like Sonic and Bartleby have to have sex in space to save the world from the sun, he has like the Linkin Park kick in to get like the moment. And it's just real earnest when it wants to be. And I don't know, I think that and the real like kind of soft pastel palette with like the kind of aesthetic, the anime aesthetic. I don't know. Something about it just hit with like whatever the pony fandom looks like now. Yeah. And I find it's weird because you think of like bronies, you think of My Little Pony people, and you would think that like, the scatological stuff, the slurs and all that, you would think, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it's not for everybody, but it seems to have succeeded.
For years,
they'll take what they can get. Yeah, maybe.
It's like, geez. The art just seems like suspiciously good at some of these parts.
Yeah.
Like this,
yeah.
I don't know, you were saying before, I think it's up here, who's this like fusion pony?
Yeah, that's, there's an episode, she's called The Mare in the Mirror, Twilight.
Is this a non-Michael Jackson reference?
A little bit. I mean, there's, I don't remember exactly why it happens, but some magic mirror fuses Trixie's and Twilight's minds into one pony called, she doesn't have a name, but she says she is flawless. And so the fandom started calling her Flawless, and he decided, yeah, that's her name. So her name's Flawless Sparkle Moon. And when she's introduced, there's like a big anime battle. And then she just kind of sticks around and just kind of hangs out. And I don't know. Yeah, the art is pretty good. I mean, it doesn't move very much. It's mostly static images that just kind of have a little 2-frame loop where they go like boop, 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 and their mouth kind of flaps open.
That's how I am.
Right. But
this has to be a second artist. It's got to be.
I mean, it doesn't look much like...
It's so different between the two styles.
It could be a case where, like, he had a very defined style with the Sonic Underground stuff that he didn't want to deviate from. But in that whole time he's been making art, he's improved. Could be making better art.
I subscribe to Shapeshifter's theory big time.
Yeah.
Keeping to a particular design.
Yeah. Right. On the one hand, it does look like it looks completely different. But then, I highlighted the Polar Express because in that one scene in Polar Express, Knuckles kind of looks aesthetic. He kind of looks cool anime for a second. And then in Sonya Gets Suspended, like a lot of scenes are like, oh, he kind of. And maybe he hired someone else to draw those scenes for him, or maybe he just practiced and got better. Yeah,
it is genuinely.
It occasionally has
some.
The fight scene in Toradora, like it's just suddenly like, whoa!
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I guess that pretty much concludes me because I'm not going to go into every single episode unless you want me to. Feel free. But I guess that concludes my my broad talk about like who is Tamers12345, where did he come from, what was he doing in the decade plus before pony stuff.
Right.
Any
This is a rare internet success story where they
It's
begin
ongoing.
the story and actually achieve at the end. Where normally these types of discussions is like
They fall off the spot.
Yeah, we've already had the past.
I mean, who knows what the future will hold? But at the moment, Tamers is blowing up and he's riding high.
Well, his channel did get taken down.
His channel did get taken down, but
That's true. That's
yeah,
free Tamers.
I mean, anyone that wants to see the content can find it in the Tamers archive and on Newgrounds and on PonyTube.
Right, of course.
Yeah, I was about to comment that despite getting taken down, I saw him on Twitter like the day it got taken down, and he just seemed like he really didn't give much of a shit.
I mean, he was mad.
Way chill about it.
He was mad about the takedown. He said, "YouTube, give me my channel." He made a post that was like, "YouTube, give me my channel back." Punches you. Give me my channel back. Punches you.
I retweeted that. That was the coolest thing.
Oh
I've
yeah.
ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So like he was mad about it, but yeah, he's just
like, I don't know.
He's
whatever,
like it's just like he would get banned on DeviantArt and he would just make new accounts. He made tons of Deviant YouTube. I mean, I'm sure YouTube probably hurt. It was his biggest platform ever by far, and he'd been taking off. But like he's just doing the same thing he's always done. Just make a new account.
I just want to point out my undying respect for him. Some people, when their YouTube channel gets taken down, they cry and they shit themselves. And they poop themselves about it.
They act like it's a big deal or something, right?
Didn't care, and neither did he.
Despite
unironically
his
respect
subject matter,
unironically
like
respect him.
constantly, like people
He's
constantly
cool.
shitting themselves. He doesn't shit himself in real life.
I feel like I don't know. There's
So he's a liar.
he's just a machine. I mean
he is.
like that him just
He's just rolling.
like the fact that there was no break or delay after like World War III.
No time for emotional recovery after this incident.
There was no pause or there was no break after like his channel got deleted. He's like, well, I guess I'll just post the episode somewhere else then.
Sigma. In a word, Sigma.
He's just a machine, and he's been a machine, and like he was making his art even back then when he had no audience at all. When the only people that could possibly have been seeing this were like Sonic fans that would certainly be offended by it and get mad about it.
And those comments on other people's art saying, your shit is not good. You should be more like me and make
I think
there's a joke.
I mean, maybe this, I don't know, I think there's definitely a vein of like, I think he likes to piss people off.
Sure.
Why would you do the things you've done unless you like to piss people off?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's like where his comedy comes from. His comedy comes from like, let me make something that's like a dissonance between like being fucked up and being like, you know, the way that it kind of goes right back and forth between like a heartfelt family moment. Oh, but we're bashing each other's teeth in. We're shitting in each other's mouths or whatever.
Hey, who's that purple one there?
That's Alina. That's the mom.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that was the mom.
That's the mom.
Gotcha.
This is Sonia, Knuckles, Alina, Sonic, Bartleby, Manic, Mindy. Mindy didn't come out perfect, but I mean, she never looks the same between any two shots.
Well,
She's
you
like,
can't see her big boobs.
I did include them. I did include them sticking out.
I get about Mindy.
No, between any when he draws, like when it's in cute mode and she's not like bimbo, it's like she looks a little bit cute. Honestly, she still kind of has that weird like eye syndrome. But like when she's normal, she looks fine. But when she's in like plastic surgery, my boobs are bigger than my entire body mode. Like no, there's no consistency in her model at all.
Right.
She's also. Did I mention that like the characters' butts are just constantly seen, and even in
with the gallery,
even
like in later years, like 19, 20, 21,
you can see it, but like
almost like
even if there's
a U shape, like indented outwards to like purposely stick them out.
Yeah, they'll be facing forward, and the butt will just be just two big cheeks, just like sticking on the side, just so you can always see the butt. The fixation on butts. You know, there's a fixation on butts, and I think people in the early days dismissed this guy as like some weird fetishist, some kind of autistic fetishist doing some kink stuff. But
I think understandably so.
Yeah, I get it. I can see why. I can see why. But like the way that Bartleby's drawn in the early art, I really think it's deliberately grotesque. The fixation on butts does not seem like it's meant to titillate. It seems like it's there because it's like a funny poop joke.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's getting off on what he's drawing here.
Yeah, I think it would be more vapid. It would probably be way more simplistic and like focused on the butt if it was more in that way. But the fact that he makes so elaborate and the sheer output and the creativity in this.
He's definitely fixated. Yeah. He's definitely fixated on making what he's making.
There's no other explanation.
And also on Sonic Underground in specific.
Right.
Like, why be so focused on Sonic Underground?
No one would be committed to a bit for this long. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Until now.
But he did just recently switch, so
right.
I guess there's,
right.
He's capable of growth.
I don't know. I would love to one day have the man himself be like, what exactly was your thought process when you decided it's pony time? But the man never gives a straight answer to anything, so we may never know. Well, I mean, I guess. Oh, a lean 4 hours. That's
right.
For Twig, yes.
Any final questions? I guess we can wrap up. All right. Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you,
I'm
Nate.
check out those videos for sure.
They're honestly, I think
you convinced me.
I think that like a group watch of some Tamers stuff. Heed all my content. Heed all my content warnings. Heed all my content warnings. But they're really funny.
The Great price that still stood out to me was the scene with Bartleby and the poor person.
I was going to ask, sort of like proportionately, are there like dud episodes that are like?
Okay.
I mean, he has a lot of filler content, kind of.
I mean, they're not all.
That's a rude thing to call it filler content, but like the AMVs and stuff.
I personally am not a huge fan of like the ones that are like what if Sonic was in Breath of the Wild? What if Sonic was in Harry Potter? Those ones are like, why? I don't know. Those ones don't really do it for me. I mean, even those ones, like I wouldn't say don't watch them. I would just say like they'd be like last on my list.
If we took a snapshot of your board here and like just watch like the underlined green ones to get like the plot lore, would that be like a curated list?
You would
like, efficiency?
No.
Okay.
I tried to be I tried to make like a seminal list. Like here's my recommended list, but like more of them are on it than not. Because these ones are the ones relevant to the prophecy, but like. Don't skip Mindy's Sisters Comes to Town. That one's crucial. Don't skip Robotnik Has Had Enough. That one's crucial. Don't skip Why Robotnik Hates Music. It's some of the ones that they're essential watching, not because they like Serial Crisis. The only like lore thing that happens in that one is the introduction of Charlie the Walmart employee. But you got to watch that one for 5 seconds to haul ass. And so on. Yeah, I don't know if
Unless you're like okay with just like watching it on a moment to moment, joke to joke basis, and you're like, oh, like I'm confused with this character being here. Like you're there for his humor.
You're there for the humor
or whatever.
Yeah, I think you could pretty much pick any of them, and I think that it would probably be a really fun time if you got like a bunch of friends together and had a group watch of these.
This lecture where it's like, yeah, this is what this character's deal is. This is what's going on with Sonic. This is what's going on with this character. Like, if you know the core cast, like as you've described, you could probably watch any of these episodes and get it.
I'm looking at. Oh, this is a spoiler. In Halloween Heroes. Oh, I didn't tell you what happens in Halloween Heroes. In Halloween Heroes, 2023. Jared's pa, who got run over by a train. Chuck uses necromancy to bring him back. And there's a whole thing with the people on the farm. There's like a curse. He curses Manic as they have to trade one soul for another. So Manic's going to hell unless they go and they get Pa back. And then Sarah is like, well, I know black magic too. So I'm actually going to transfer the curse to my ma so that I can inherit the farm. This is such a funny gag in this episode. This will be the last one probably. They have to get to the farm, but Bartleby's limousine, the longest limousine in the world, is driving past the road, and they're like, "Well, it's blocking us." So one of us has to crawl under the car, under the limousine while it's driving to get to the farm. And Manic's best friend Blinky, decides he'll valiantly do it. And he's like, watch me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to save the day. And then we get as he's crawling under the limousine, we get a montage of like every important scene that's ever happened in Sonic Underground. The battle with the boys, Knuckles defeating the Oracle, etc. There's a black and white montage. Blinky was just off screen, just hanging out the whole time, and he crawls under the he's been there for the whole time, just right off screen. He crawls into the limousine and he says, "Watch me. Do you see me? I'm doing it." And they say, "No, Blinky, don't stop and look back. The end of the limousine's coming." And it catches him and it drags him away, and no more Blinky. But then at the end, they transfer the curse onto Sarah's ma, and they send Sarah's ma to hell in place of Pa, and all's right with the world. But then at the end, they're having her funeral, and Ma comes back, and they're like, "Ma, you're back, it's a miracle." And she said, "Someone volunteered to take my place in hell," and it was Blinky.
Thanks, Blinky.
So that's I teased that something happened in Halloween Heroes, and that's what happened in Halloween Heroes.
So he's the Halloween hero?
No.
Okay.
They look at Bartleby looks at the viewer at the end and says, "We're all Halloween heroes, boys."
Perfect.
All right, I think you get the gist of why Tamers12345 is funny. I've spoiled a lot of really good jokes, but like there's there's more here than I've talked about. I recommend giving it a watch if it sounds like your cup of tea.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you. I've been Ben Saint. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you, Nate Bestman, for Twig. Twig. Bye.
Wow.
Is that it? Are we done?
I think so. Yeah.
3:05 a.m.
It's 3:05 a.m. That was a lean 4 hours. I did it.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. The names on screen right now are the names of my patrons on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who either had already joined or joined between the last video and this one to support me. Thank you all very much. It keeps me going, and things have kind of been turning around for me lately. Like, I was kind of like really, really poor before, and now I'm kind of just like normal poor. I'm like, I'm like poor, but doing okay. So that's an improvement. That's great. Thank you so much for that. I'm very happy. Things are moving in a positive direction for me, I think. You may have noticed that I said words like rape and pedophile and stuff a lot in this video, and they say that kind of thing can get your videos demonetized, so fingers crossed it doesn't happen. That would be really sad, but if you want to help insulate me from such eventualities, becoming a YouTube channel member or Patreon patron to give me money to make up for potential lost ad revenue would go a long way for that if you want to. So thank you so much if you decide to do that. And also thank you to this video's sponsor, Boot.dev, link in the description. And also, I can't believe I forgot to shout out Cybershell in this whole talk. I think it would have been around 2021 or so, we were talking and he asked me like, hey, do you know about Tamers12345? And, brought it to my attention. And it was not the first time I'd ever heard of Tamers12345, but it was maybe the first time someone had talked to me about him in a way that wasn't like, this guy's such a freak, like this guy's a reprobate. So that was cool, and thank you, Cybershell, for that. Who knows if I'd have even ended up doing this talk, if not for that. Oh, and of course, once again, thank you, Nate, for setting up TUIG. This is my lecture from TUIG, the United Internet Genius Conference. Once they're all out, I do recommend that everyone watch all the lectures from TUIG. So link in the description if you want to see all that, once they're out, that is. Okay. Don't want to go on too long here. I think that's about it. Thank you again very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about Tamers. Oh, yeah, one last thing. If you check out Tamers, I do think most people would probably enjoy it more at like 1.5 or even 2 times speed. I forgot to mention, but a lot of the dialogue is really slow. I watched it sped up. I think a lot of the Sonic Underground videos are funnier sped up. So take that under consideration. It might improve the viewing experience. Okay, now that's really all. All right. Thanks. Goodbye. See you in the next video.